I hate football, you know that.
I love football.
I hate Arsenal fans.
You know when you're shit, it's so hot.
You lot ain't
Bruv,
shit,
we've been
bro,
shit
man.
for the last 5 years and it's
I know-
annoying, man. Like
I know
Arsenal have
about
been
shit
shit.
when it comes to
You've only been
football,
shit for
bro.
No, but you lot on the up now. So you're,
You lot have always had like.
no, but you lot on the up though. You lot on
Yeah,
the
we're on the
up.
up now, but
So imagine how I feel. When you go down,
Man, shut up. Arsenal fans don't know struggle. Shut the fuck up. Arsenal fans do not know struggle.
I agree
You don't know
with you,
struggle at
bro.
Liverpool. You don't know struggle like Tottenham. So please, I beg,
That's true.
shut
That's
up.
a good point, though.
What?
You man don't know struggle like our two teams.
now let me ask you that question. What's worse?
You don't know.
No, let me ask you a
No, hang on.
Falling from grace.
Yeah. Or never having anything to fall
Two
off.
words.
Falling from
Roy,
grace is hard.
Two
That's
words.
what I'm saying.
2 words. Roy Hodgson. We had him as a manager.
Two words.
He signed Paul
words,
Konchesky.
man.
He
Two
signed
words.
Paul Konchesky.
2 words.
Christian Paulson.
2 words. Andre Santos.
Fam, Paul Konchesky.
Carl Jenkinson.
Andre Voronin.
Are you in?
Yeah, man,
Christian
you can't
Paulson.
go bar for
No,
bar
never.
of us, man.
Come on,
Yo,
man.
Chris, what's worse to you?
Devin and Gok.
What's worse to you?
What's good, world? Welcome to episode 15 of the Rhymes Like Dimes podcast with your boys, Yemi, Mo, and Peter. And today we have a very special guest, our second guest on the podcast. He goes by the name of Melo. Gentlemen, how we doing today?
good.
All good, man. God is
good.
good, man.
All the time?
All the time,
All
God
the
is
time,
good.
God is
That's the thing we do. How's your week's been, guys?
Good, man. What?
No,
You don't know who
Why
you
did no one
'cause
want
you
to
know it is.
answer?
You don't know when to, because that is someone else. And you don't know when to wait, when to talk, when to.
who wants to
everything.
jump
Why did
in
no one
first?
want to
Yeah.
answer?
Really ready.
Hey, well, my week's been calm, innit? I don't know why I'm
That's
shouting.
Mohammed if you
I
didn't
don't know why
know.
I'm shouting. So, yeah, my work's been easy. Been chilling, going work, coming home, going sleep.
Nearly 5
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
man.
I bought NBA 2K.
Okay. Who's in the cover?
That's a good question. Anthony Davis, I believe.
Anthony Davis.
What, is he at the Lakers on it?
Yeah, he said, yeah. They had to switch up because he was at the Pelicans,
Okay.
and they done the picture, and I was like, hold on a minute, he got traded, and they traded to the Lakers. You watch it.
Is Kyrie at Nets?
Kyrie's at Nets.
Okay, cool.
So that's who you support.
Yeah.
They're all shit.
Yeah, man, Kyrie's my guy, man. So I'm supporting wherever
For
he
those
goes.
that don't know, Kyrie believes the Earth is flat.
We ain't gonna do that.
Oh,
But-
boy.
We ain't gonna do that.
That's how my week's been. And
Pete,
how's your
how's your week been?
My week's been cool, man. Keeping a low profile, just working, man. You know what I'm
Low
saying?
profile.
Just
You love a
getting
low
through
profile.
that. Huh?
You love a low profile.
Do man.
Melo, how's your week been?
Yeah, good, man.
Yo, save us, bro.
God, I say good, just normal, really. Normal week, back to work, back to real life after the madness of Cyprus and that.
Yeah, audience, if you don't know, Peter and Mo went to Melo's wedding in Cyprus, and that's why they were so hyped about being in Cyprus and being back.
Yeah,
Best wedding I've ever been to. Period.
Still.
It's not even close.
Fair enough.
yeah,
No
man.
one going to ask me how my week was.
How's your week been, bro?
Thanks.
It happens every week, innit?
Yeah,
We forget to
bro.
ask
I'm
him.
not gonna lie, yeah.
It's because you're the anchor, innit?
No,
so
do you know what it is? It's such a consistent thing, yeah. Which is like, all right, let's start the show. Oh, Yemi, sorry, bro. Did you meet Bad Liv this week?
No, I did not.
You went Common, though,
unfortunately.
innit?
So what?
You went to Common.
I did. I went
pay?
to see Common live in
Did you pay to
in
see
London.
Common?
Of course he didn't pay.
I did not pay to see.
So you got there?
Common.
Okay, cool.
Eki, shout
No, there's no
out Eki.
Shout out to Eki. Shout out to Eki.
She hooked the brother up, and it was good, man. He was a great performer, man.
Did he start breakdancing?
He started breakdancing at 45, 46 years old.
Wait, Common was breakdancing.
He was breakdancing, man. It made me think that he must have been like a b-boy before he was rapping, because he was racking out moves that I
Did he
didn't
spin
even
on
know.
his head?
Wasn't spin on his head. Well, he kind of was, but he kind of wasn't. It was kind of like that thing where you would spin with the legs,
Okay.
and it's kind of like on your neck
Yeah.
rather than the actual
Did he
head.
have a cardboard laid out?
The cardboard was not laid out, but it may as well have been. And yeah, man, it was dope. Madison McFerrin's brother was part of his band, and he was beatboxing and singing, which was cool. And yeah, man, it was just
What,
a dope
Taylor?
show.
Taylor McFerrin.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Only you would know that name.
I knew you'd know.
Only he
I
would
knew
know
you'd
that
know.
name.
Oh,
bro.
they're dope musicians, and they got.
I don't even know who Marty
Talent
McFly
family.
is, fam.
Marty McFly.
Sorry, what was his name?
Okay. Disrespectful, but it's cool. So yeah, man, it was dope. But other than that, it's just been a normal week, to be honest. And
Just one
ready
last
to
question.
pod.
Before he started breakdancing, did he give you like a heads up, or did he?
No,
just
he did
start-
not.
It's random.
He did not. He did not. So he did it.
Just with a
randomly.
knee slide out of nowhere, Mo.
He did
son.
it. No, he did it
That's the last thing I would expect to see at a Common
for real,
concert as
man.
well.
Start
To
breakdancing,
see him
bro.
breakdance.
Like a lot of live instrumentation, a lot of like mellow voice, all that stuff that you would expect from Common, and it just brings out.
Because I was even going to ask you, was it like one of them energetic concerts, but
Not
that
even.
question went out the window once you said you started breakdancing.
Not even, bro.
Don't get more energetic.
It has to be in it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
I'm
see my rappers breakdance.
I'm honest with you.
He was doing it. Hey, bro.
I'll be honest with you,
He was
I'll
freaking it though.
I'll
He
be
was
honest with you. I'll
definitely
start
freaking
booing.
it. You start booing.
I'll start booing.
Why?
If I came to hear rap, and this guy want to start bouncing around in these heads.
Yeah, but don't you surely you want to see the artist vibing to his music?
But
Yeah,
then
I mean,
And it's not like he started with
Comments
it.
got old school guys. So I can see him doing the whole thing with his hands when he goes like that.
He did do that.
He did that, innit? How did I know, fam? With that Adidas tracksuit, fam.
But he didn't
With that-
start with the breakdance. It was like midway towards the end.
Also, he's like, and then
He didn't do all that.
The Adidas tracksuit with
He
the
didn't do all that.
The shin pads on.
He didn't do all that. He
The
didn't do all
double
that.
arm cross.
with the double arm
He
cross.
didn't do all that.
and the candle
I mean, he
hat
did do
backwards.
that. I mean,
Oh,
he
fam.
did the arm cross 100%. So it was definitely dated at that point. But bro, it was surprising.
Remember what songs he performed?
He performed The Light. He performed Testify. He performed Go. He performed I Used to Love Her.
Any guests?
He had one dope singer. Barney Artist opened for him.
Dope. He
and
just dropped a new EP as well, so big up.
He
him
did.
as
He
well,
did.
man.
Was it Bikes or something?
Yeah.
Shout out to
Dope.
Barney. So yeah, man, it was
Makes
dope. He played all the hits essentially, and some stuff from the new album.
Shout out to comment, man.
Yeah, man,
glad
really
you-
dope experience. But yeah, man,
Glad you
ready,
still
looking
podcast.
forward to podding now.
Yeah.
So Melo, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
My
Thank you for
brother.
having me.
So yeah, man, really good to have you. I guess what I want to get into now is who you are, man, and how you got into this rap game and stuff like that. What's your story, bro?
What's your story, bro?
My story, okay. My story begins probably when I was about 13, 14 years old. I was more of a garage head when I was younger in school. When I first started listening to music like heavy, it was more garage. It was sort of that sort
Question.
of era.
So Solid, They Don't Know. Is that garage?
Yes.
Because we've been having this.
I would say that whole album is based around garage. It's kind of like, I don't know, but that one song, I don't know if you would say is typically garage.
All right, cool.
I think it's
21 Seconds, I would say, is garage.
it's grimy garage.
Yeah.
I'd say it's
Yeah.
kind of like teetering between garage and grime.
Yeah.
It's like very late, like dark garage. You knew that was going into grime because So Solid weren't out and out garage.
No.
Really,
Right.
they were
There
more
was
like
over like garage BPMs,
yeah.
the way they used to MC, like the 140 BPM
Yeah.
beats and stuff. But I wouldn't say that album was like solid garage.
Yeah, because you associate garage with a certain like mood,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like sunny, it's happy, it's lovey,
And,
all this
the
stuff.
tempo as well for
Yeah,
garage as well.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, sorry, man.
But yeah, so that's what we started doing. Like we just used to we used to be two groups in school actually of like 5 MCs in each one, and we used to like DJ and MC at, you know, when someone's parents go away and have a free house,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
come
yeah,
round, let's have a party.
yeah.
We do like the MCing and DJing, and then one guy done his work experience in a studio, and he said to us you lot should come down and make your own track to play in when you do the parties and stuff. So we went down. It was like £200 for the demo. So because there was like 5 and 5, we was thinking get together. It's like £20 each. Chucked in £20 each. I remember I went in first, done my verse. I was going on holiday to Barbados with my family at the time, so I went in on my own and done my verse on a song called Stand or Flow, which Elephant Man ended up jumping on the remix for. And
Swear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went away on holiday. The boys went in, done their bit on the song, and then I came back to like a record. The boys are like, "Oh, we've got a record deal on the table," and these sort of times I was like, "What's a record deal?" I didn't have an idea or a clue or any kind of wanting for it either at the time, really.
Who were the boys?
This Blazin squad, the rest of the boys, yeah.
So this is what you all went to school together?
Yeah, it was all in the same school together.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it just went from there really. And then it was weird really the path we ended up taking, because we got signed to East West, who was part of Warner's, and then our management was the same management of So Solid Crew. So then we had like a whole album of like garage recorded and done, and the video that you see for Crossroads was actually shot. We went South Africa, and it was actually shot for a garage tune called Stand or Flow. So then we came back, and our management was having all this trouble with So Solid and getting banned from places and whatnot. So they made us switch up the whole thing. So we had
so
to
you don't
reshoot the
necessarily-
video
yeah,
for
yeah.
Crossroads, and then we just took a completely different line musically of what we definitely of what we wanted to do. But we had a good time with it, man. We done like the arena tours, theatre tours. We had top 10 singles and whatnot, and it's stuff that I'll always remember. It kind of goes back to that convo we was having earlier. Would you rather have never had or been there and fallen off?
Yeah.
And for me, I guess I wouldn't swap. I wouldn't take away what we'd achieved or what we've done, because the memories are there for life.
The other road.
Sorry?
You wouldn't go down the other route.
I would maybe go back and try doing it a different way.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely, because I think the way that we went, it's hard to find longevity and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Top 5.
See, Mo told me.
Yeah, I'll give him a heads up. I'll give him a heads up.
You know what? It's been juggling in my head, right? Because it's I'll give you 5, but
it's gonna change tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's a question that I hate. I've never liked answering this question because it's like, how do you decide who makes the top 5? What's your
criteria?
Well, for me, so what I've ended up doing, I've had to write them down because it changes all the time. So what I've ended up doing is going with who I listen to the most.
So it's your favorite top 5 rather than best.
My personal favorite.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, favorite's a bit easier to answer than best.
Yeah, because there's too many different things to take into account if you're talking about who's the actual best. So my top 5 US is Eminem.
All eyes like scour the
people's
room.
gonna understand why we're laughing. People are gonna understand why we're laughing.
Because
he's a beast of it.
Well, I think when the Marshall Mathers LP came out, I don't think I've ever been so consumed by an album as how I was with that album, because it was something that I'd never heard before, and I can't remember how old I was, like 14, 15, and there was certain songs on there even listening to that you kind of felt, oh, should I even be listening to this? This is mad. Like that Kim track is crazy, and it's difficult to listen to, because it's so in detail and like horrifying. But at the same time, if you look at it as art, it's amazing.
I thought it was brilliant.
It's amazing because
at the time I thought it was brilliant.
to be able to tell a story like that, make it rhyme, make it flow, make it all make sense, and you can picture it in your head. It's like you're watching a film, just listening to a track, and that's what Eminem has done on multiple times on different albums.
Yeah, he's good at that.
So he's definitely top of the list for me personally. Jay-Z is followed very closely. Nas obviously has to go. I don't think there's many top 5s that don't have Nas.
I think that's a general.
Yeah.
Him and Jay-Z.
J. Cole for me as
See,
well.
I
I'm a
like
massive
this
J. Cole
list.
fan.
J. Cole.
I like
J. Cole.
this list.
Yeah, I'm a massive J. Cole fan. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he's smart.
I'd like him to answer, please.
You love J. I've been J. Cole.
We've been a few, fam.
We've been a few times.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know. I can't really pinpoint on one specific thing. It's just as an artist, the way he raps, the things he raps about, the way. When I listen to rappers, I'm more of a, like, some people listen for the production, some listen for the content. I'm always engaged by the flow first. For some reason, the way rappers flow their words together. And J. Cole just always intrigues me with it. And the last one in my favorite 5 probably don't make too many people's top 5s, but I think he's underrated and not shouted enough, is Fabulous.
Okay.
Interesting.
I like that.
That's a good shout,
I just feel with Fabulous, right? He might not
shout.
be the greatest rapper, but I can't really think of a time when I've listened to something that he's featured on or an album. The albums might not be classics, but I've rarely listened to him and kind of been let down. Yeah. Or thought, ooh.
Fabulous definitely gets busy. Fabulous gets busy.
I think he's consistent.
Yeah, Fab was like one of my first. He was one of my early favorite rappers.
Like Ghetto Fabulous was.
But that's
a
to
sick
me.
album.
It's not like. It's one of my favorites. I was going to use the C word, but I'm not going to. Classic.
No, I don't think it's a classic, but
I love that album.
It's a great album.
Yeah, but it's not a classic because of, the musicality of it. It's just where I was in life at the time, how young I was.
Exactly.
It just takes me back.
It's a personal classic.
Yeah, 100%.
His mixtapes are amazing as well.
Yeah. And I think his coolness is what overshadows how nice he is lyrically.
Yeah.
I think people don't really, they know him for the girls songs.
Because he was the first rapper.
Yeah.
But he was the first rapper to kind of come with the whole swag and style. No, not really. I'm just saying the whole girls, ladies love.
Nah, Mace did it.
Yo, listen, I'm talking
Oh,
about.
boy.
No, but you know what I mean, though, with it.
I know
All jokes
what you
aside,
mean,
he
though.
came with the whole ladies love him, like, yo, I'm just calm with it, I'm cool with it.
LL did it too.
Ladies love Cool J.
So basically, he just refreshed an old formula.
Yeah, because Cool J.
And he can jump on like the ladies tracks, but then you can put him on a hood tune again, and he's gonna body it.
Talk his crowd,
He's
didn't
gonna
it?
body it.
Yeah.
Because he's just Brooklyn.
Yeah, very versatile.
Yeah,
And he's got a great song with Limity.
Oh, that,
Remember that song?
Yeah.
He had a great song.
Cuffing Season is a dope song too.
Yeah.
He's a great artist.
Yeah,
Shout out to, yo, that's a good shout, man. Because I heard
Fabulous. I don't think he gets enough
He's
shouts.
underrated.
he's definitely
Is he one of the more consistent rappers ever?
From New York, 100%.
Yeah, I think so.
In general,
I think that's why he makes my top 5 because he's so consistent. He's like I say, his music might not go down in history and be remembered forever, but he very rarely lets you down on a track.
Yeah.
He's on a song. He's got a song that dropped recently.
Casanova.
Yeah,
Bro, I was
so
listening to that
Brooklyn.
today.
His verse is mad on
Bro,
that.
come on! I was just about to talk about it. Like, when did Fabulous come out? 03?
No, like
Nah.
01.
Or one?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
it was
one-
definitely
oh,
early noughties.
Say
yeah.
01, yeah? Bro, we're in 2019. And he's still bodying verses.
Yeah.
He killed that Soul Brooklyn verse with Casanova.
Yeah, yeah, he
Like,
did.
he killed
I
it,
put
bro.
him in that same category as I put Jadakiss. And I put them up against each other.
But Jadakiss is in my top 5, so I get why Fabo might be
I always
someone else's
argue
top
who's
5.
nicer between the two.
Jada's in my top 5. But I get
I
why
think
Jade
Fab's
is
nicer.
nice as well. Jade is nice.
I think Fab's nicer.
But that's what I'm saying. I will never argue someone that says Fab is. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get why
So where
he's
do you
there.
hold if you hold Jada there? Do you hold Styles P similar to Jada?
Nah.
Nah.
Do you know what? Jada's a better rapper than Styles, but Styles makes better albums. But I think overall Styles is just a bit lower than Jada for me.
And then Sheik is
What about
way down
Beans?
Beanie Beans.
But Sheik was just the goon. that
Sheik
used
is
to come
way
in on the
down
tunes,
there.
isn't it? Yeah.
He's
That
way-
craziness.
Yeah.
He's just a killer.
Yeah.
He's the murder for
Yeah.
hire. I don't know this person. He's all a legend, by the way.
Oh, serious. You said Beans.
Yeah.
Because
Because I kind of put him in the same bracket as the Styles,
Siegel.
as Jada.
Yeah.
as the-
No. Beans not.
Yeah.
not
He's
with
in
Jada.
that conversation too.
I'm never. You know what's crazy?
I like Beanie, man. Beanie's
Yeah.
nice,
This
man.
guy sound crazy. And you know what I like. I've never really listened to Beanie Siegel like that.
You love Beans.
Neither have
Yeah,
I.
you'd love Beanie.
Everyone, no. But everyone says that to me. Everyone always says. When I tell them
Broad
like, yo,
Street Bully.
like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
man,
getting
you
wrong.
would
But when I said that about Jadakiss, you man killed me.
Because there's a difference. There's a difference.
Why is
That's
there a difference?
different.
Jada's in my top
How is
5.
that
Because
different?
Jada's in my
Jadakiss has
top
got
5.
more notoriety.
What did you
Beans-
say about
Not many
Jadakiss?
people
He's
on
never
Beans
listened
like
to a
that.
Jadakiss
Whereas
album.
Jada's different.
And we killed him for that. He's never listened to a Jadakiss album. We killed him for that.
But rap heads would know. Like
Because
Jadakiss isn't that popular in the wider sense.
He's way
Obviously,
more popular than Beans.
in the wider sense.
But I've listened to Beans. I'm just saying I've never sat through a whole
but
album.
rap heads know both of them. So I don't know. I don't think there's that
But
much.
they
of a
know
difference.
Jada more than they know Beans.
You
If they're,
know-
if they're
You can
heads,
get away with not listening to Beans than not listening to Jada.
I think it's the same.
No.
I
Anyway,
don't know. No way.
I'm gonna listen to Beanie because every feature I've heard of Beanie, like the Dynasty album, all that, he kills all of it. He's got a few songs when he out raps Jay-Z, if I'm gonna be honest though.
Do you have a UK top 5?
Yeah, and it's the same again. I've done it like because there's a new guy in there who's I say new. He's new to the rap scene stuff. I've got to try and put some new school in there along with the old guard.
Yeah.
So I've just gone with the 5 that I listen to the most, and we've got Wretch in there. I
Come
think
on.
Wretch was the first one to go on the list. For
Why?
me.
Come on, this
Why?
one's talking
Because
about.
he's got double, triple, quadruple entendres, metaphors, and he's just nice with it. He tells stories good.
Mo is cheesing right now.
From your lips,
Yeah,
to,
but
from your lips to God's ear, fam.
Wretch has to get them ratings, man. He has to. And then these aren't in order, by the way. These are just like a grouped 5. So then we go on to Kano, who we're gonna talk a bit more about later.
Okay.
I've got
1A, 1B.
right. So this one, I put Chip in there, yeah, but not for his albums or his songs. I'm just talking nice with bars.
Yeah.
When it comes to just putting him in front of a mic and rapping or barring back to back with, he could probably go back to back with anyone in the UK and hold his own, if not beat a lot of them. So when it comes to just straight bars and rhyming, Chip has to be in there. Skepta.
There's a North London bias here.
I'm not from North London.
Oh, okay.
No,
say that
I'm
again?
East.
Say that
I'm
again,
East.
please.
I'm
Oh, you're
not
from
I'm-
East?
I'm not from North
Yo,
London.
say that
yeah,
again.
I'm
Oh,
East.
shoot.
Yeah.
Because you want to repeat what you just said.
Kano,
Yemi was so quick to say that.
Yemi said he knows more. They're both from Tottenham.
Kano's the only one in there repping the East. to
Yo,
be fair. And then I've got Skepta. Skepta as well, kind of like the Fabulous thing. He's not like, I don't think he's the greatest lyrically or anything like that, but he's just one of them people when you listen to him like on like a 140 gram beat.
Yeah.
If you spit yourself, you listen to him and you want to pick up a mic and start rapping, he gets you hype. And then I've got Dave.
Oh, really?
Put Dave in there, yeah, because I don't think there's any other rappers that are really like Dave. I think he's kind of in his own little bubble. The things he raps about, the way he raps it, I just think he's refreshing to listen to.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really waste. I don't think he's wasting his ability in rap. He talks about important subjects, and he does it well. He's honest with it. You might not agree with everything that he says, but he's definitely honest.
What do you think of his album?
I liked it. I don't know if it was the number 1 album, but I liked it. I mean, I've only listened to it 2 or 3 times. It weren't one that I had to felt a need to go back and listen to and bang out all the time. But it was a good album.
Yeah, it's not one of those albums that you just bang out.
No.
It's because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in my top 5 already as well, by the way.
Whatever.
Yeah, it might be my top
Favorites
5.
or ever.
Favorites. He's already in my top 5 favorites.
No, I get it, man.
The only person actually, I might replace Dave for Huss. But
Huss is definitely my
Huss,
favorite.
Huss might be in my favorite. Jay Huss is one of my favorites as well. But Dave, I get it.
Huss is more of a you wouldn't. I don't think it's fair to just bracket him as a rapper either, because he's like an all round artist. He's
the most complete artist we have right now.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know who else I think is a complete artist as well? I don't think he gets that much ratings. I want to know what you might think of it. Dappy. I think Dappy is so talented.
Dappy's one of
Can he sing,
I think that's
though?
known though.
No.
People know
I
how
don't know.
talented he is.
Because
Can he sing,
You
though?
don't really
It's
hear his
'cause-
name come up in conversation very often,
I
but
feel like because it's Dappy.
The antics as
Dappy's
well,
a bit corny.
outside of the music.
yeah, but forget him
white.
and forget him as a person, corny and whatnot. Just his musical ability.
He's one of the Dappy's one of the most talented musicians we've had.
So why don't you think he gets
100%.
credit?
I just never hear
You
his
think
name
he's white,
shouted.
Yemi?
Huh?
I think that might be it. Is
I don't know,
that
man.
mixed
No,
with?
race definitely plays a factor.
Is that mixed with all the corny stuff?
Race definitely
I
plays
think.
a factor. Definitely
reckon?
plays a, Dave,
Plus, like N-Dubs,
In the
like
UK,
N-Dubs
think
hasn't
it's more to
aged
do
well.
with-
I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's more to do with the end up stuff and when they went mainstream.
Bro,
and
it's
stuff.
all
But
of
if you
that,
look
man.
at the stuff that he's actually putting out now, and you listen to the way he flows, the melodies he writes, you know what I mean? Like he's a vocalist as well. There's videos of him sitting there rapping and playing the piano at the same time.
I think supposedly he
Yeah, I mean,
wrote
he's-
all the end up songs and everything.
Yeah,
I always
he's-
thought he
he's
got
super
his
talented.
credit. Oh,
No. Dappy
I've always known that's
Nah,
people.
you don't
Dappy
really
gets
hear about
I
Dappy
think
gets
he
shitted on.
did.
Dappy gets shitted on. You're right.
I think he's starting to get a lot more credibility now than he has in past years. But I don't know. I have to see where he goes with it.
Maybe he's not as mainstream as he once was as well. Maybe that's a factor as well.
Yeah.
I feel like people have like short-term memory, so he's been around for a long time.
Nah,
too.
but people shit on Dappy.
Really?
Yeah, man. I feel like anyway. What do you feel, Yemi? I feel like people shit on Dappy.
Yeah, of course. I think so too. I don't think he's seen in the same light for a bunch of different reasons, but he does have that artistry to him. Like he can rap. We know that. Like he can pen a song. Like he can find a melody. I don't think he can sing all that well, but
He does.
you know what I mean? But he is talented, 100%.
I think it's him.
He's the most talented out in dubs, definitely.
Oh, that's not the question.
100%.
One of them don't even count.
Facts.
Lisa.
But didn't what's the other one? Phaser. Didn't he do a lot of the production?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's only one that didn't. Talisa didn't do. She was just there.
She's a decent singer though.
Was she?
Yeah,
She was
a
an
decent
okay
one.
singer,
Yeah,
I'd
she's
say,
decent.
yeah.
But I think you're right. Dappy, I think it's the antics. I feel like race plays a factor.
Do you think?
Yeah, man. Because I
know
don't
if
feel.
that counts here,
I
though.
feel
In
like
the UK, I don't
I feel
know,
like
man.
we just look at him like.
Yeah,
I feel like- I think it's
it
on the
does.
antics.
I
I
think
feel
it
like
does.
this gets. I feel like just from us looking, your leash is. This sound wild. Your leash is a little bit short when you're white. To us,
Yeah,
not
you
to the
said-
white
yeah,
audience. To
but I
us,
think- okay,
like
you-
when a white boy is corny, it's like, bruv, he's trying to be something he's not.
And I think that's
Yeah,
why
but you
so-
man are saying that. But when N-Dubs were popping, no one was saying.
We're talking about the wider
race.
audience. We're talking about the us, a music's head, not the
And
wider
in 2019,
audience.
you got to look at someone like H, who is white, but he's a cool guy and he can rap.
Yeah.
And he makes good music. So he's more acceptable.
But Dappy was a corny white boy.
Nah, I
Just
don't
like
think
I said,
Dappy was ever corny.
My thing
Dappy was
with,
sometimes
my
was
thing with
corny.
H though as well. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
I'm not a fan of H, by the way.
I've banged out his EP, and it bangs, and he can definitely rap. The only thing that he lacks, and this is something me and you was talking about in Cyprus, is content. He's got no every single
Facts.
like he uses a lot of the same lines and words and subjects.
true.
But at the same time, do you cut him some slack because he's only 19? What really has he?
Yeah,
I mean,
has
he's got
has to rap
personality.
about?
We know that.
He's definitely got personality. Yeah.
So I think like the personality in most situations will translate into the music.
Yeah, so
but
I'd like to see what he would do if he had an album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I'd like to see
a lot.
what he talks about on an album.
I'm not massive. I don't know about it.
I don't
listen to H like that. I'm not gonna lie. I've tried to.
he's cool.
I think
he's good.
someone put up. It was either you or me. And I was like, "Is his voice annoying?" I was like, "Yeah."
That's Mia. Yeah,
I
Mia's
can't-
not a fan at all.
I can't listen to H. I can't. Tried.
Why? Because of the accent.
It's because I'm mad. If you watch, this can sound crazy because I sound like Americans when they talk about UK rappers. You know when there's someone's got to act like a Birmingham accent or a Manny accent, it's hard for me to listen
No,
to.
I understand that.
But then
So would you feel the same with Bugsy?
Bugsy I think was alright, but
I
I don't listen to Bugsy. I ain't got Bugsy song on my phone. But I know Bugsy can rap if that makes any sense.
What about Mist?
Miss is hard with it, man. He's
Yeah, but
sick
I
with
don't
it.
listen to Mist.
You're missing out, man.
But I genuinely feel like maybe it can't be at this point that accent barrier. Because when I listen to H, it's definitely the accent. I just can't take it seriously at all. But Mist, I don't listen to Mist personally. I don't know if you man do.
You like Miss though.
Would I like him?
Yes.
I know a few like Carlos Back with a Bang. I know some of his songs. But like, have I got him on my phone? Nah. But then I feel like I sound ignorant. Like, you know, America when they talk about UK rappers and they're like, oh, I can't get over the language barrier.
Oh, you ignorant?
Yeah, but I think that barrier is sort of
You're ignorant.
broken. I think that barrier has been broken now.
What?
I don't
America?
think language
between
or
UK
accent
and
is a
US,
thing
yeah.
for you. You listen to French hip hop.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
I think it's just that particular artist.
Yeah, you're right. Because I definitely like French.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
French
no,
people
I
make
don't-
some
I
great
don't think
You
so.
just contradicted everything you just said.
No. Peter made me realize I was wrong because I listened to French music.
You're on crack, man.
They just
Can we call this episode that Peter made me realize I was wrong?
No, I love that. Peter made me realize I was wrong because I genuinely thought it was maybe an accent barrier. It's not.
No, it's
I just
not,
feel-
bro.
I
You just
feel
don't like that
I just feel like
artist,
they're
which is
whack.
fine.
Yeah, I just feel like they're whack.
Fair enough.
I wanted to ask Melo about like any future plans in music. Like, are you working on anything at the moment? Or?
I mean, I still dabble, jump in the studio. I'm always writing and thinking of stuff. Yeah. I think if I was to start recording again now, it's, you know, I don't think it's to try and make a career of or anything. It's more just as a hobby, something I enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put no pressure on it like that. Just enjoy it and have fun with it, which is what I do now.
Cool.
Fair enough.
Mm.
When did music stop being like a livelihood for you?
Probably. So we got signed in 2002, 2001, 2002. And then the label got taken over in 2004, 5. So it's 4 years. So it's been a long time now. I've been probably as long out of it a lot longer out of it than I was in. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Mm.
Well, thanks for fun.
Yeah, definitely.
How was it being like because you know when we've got our thoughts of how the industry is, like just a cup. No, it's a legit question. No, you're saying because he's part of it, but
No, Yemi's saying because we always discuss the industry. We tease him for being in the industry
we
as
always
well,
act
so-
like we always tease him how he said.
Yeah, but I mean,
like,
Yemi knows the industry now. It's a lot different to what I would know.
Okay,
from
yeah.
back then. Do you know what I mean? I have no idea what it's like now. Back then, to be fair, even back then we was kind of naive too, because you got to think we was fresh out of school, 15, 16 years. Crossroads went number 1 on whatever day the charts come out. And then the next day I was back in school sitting my GCSE exams.
Oh, swear.
You know what I mean? So we was too young to even really know what was going on. That's why when they come to us and said, "Hey, look, do this song instead. You might not like it, but do it. And here's some free tracksuits and clothes, and here's some money, and we're gonna send you to this country to do this and that." You're like, "What?" And I've just got to sing that song, and I get all that. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you're not thinking
When you're 15, 16, you don't think about
saying that,
the long run.
Do you feel a sense then that maybe you're taking advantage of a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I look back now at people that we was working around, and the way I looked at them then, but now I think back with like older and
wiser,
a little bit wiser head, and look back on it now. I think, I wouldn't trust them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust them now, definitely, because them same people that was always there and around, you know, once you're no longer signed, all of a sudden the phones ain't picking up or they ain't calling you no more.
Oh, mad.
You know what I mean? So for us back then, it was all and then nothing. It's a solid cut off.
What was like the time frame? What was the frame between everything was just like moving fast, everything was going great, and then it wasn't so great?
The last thing I remember doing is headlining Wembley at our tour,
That's
arena
mad,
tour.
by the way. That's crazy.
That was the last show we done together. So we basically come off of a sold out arena tour to, and then the second album was done, and then it come to doing the option for the next album. And I think the time when we was doing all this was kind of the time when all the illegal downloads was fresh coming out.
LimeWire.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
exactly. Because you got to think back when we was out, there was no social media. Didn't even have MySpace. MySpace came out after we ended. So you didn't have all them different avenues and stuff. It was all illegal downloads. So this is when record sales and record companies were taking a massive hit.
Yeah.
So although we were selling out shows left, right, and center, we weren't selling records. We was making like gold on our albums rather than, with the money they was investing, they was wanting platinum. And with the ticket sales we was doing, we should have really been doing that as well, but we weren't. So we took a massive hit with that. So it kind of went from doing the arena tour to them sort of optioning over, do they want to do like carry out the next option on the contract or not? And then the label got taken over by another guy, and he completely changed like the whole look of the label. He brought in like the darkness, James Blunt.
Oh, swear.
Yeah, so
Good grief.
yeah, exactly. It took a
It's always
completely
going.
180
Dark
It's always
days there.
going.
and then it just kind of fizzled out. There was no kind of day where they said, "This is done for you now."
Yeah.
You know, just the emails, the calls, the offers just started slowing down until they eventually became nothing.
Okay.
And then by that time, you kind of like, you've been waiting around, and then it kind of dawns on you, oh shit, well, if I knew this, I'd have been, you know, chasing other avenues or trying to set
At
this
least
up
you
or
would've
set
done
that up.
something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by that time, it's too, because the industry, the music industry is cutthroat as well. Not just the people in it, but consumers are cutthroat as well.
Yeah.
Like if they don't hear from you for a little while, they're on to the next thing already.
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I mean? You have to stay active, and if you don't stay active, you can get left behind.
Do you think you would have had a longer run if you came out now?
I think we was a little bit too early, and I think if we'd have stuck to our roots of what we wanted to do, we would have been a lot better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because even in talking to Mars, like he was telling me that you lot were like really trying to bar, but like the label wasn't really trying to have you lot do that.
We grew up as MCs, like MC into mainly garage.
Yeah.
But that's what we used to do. We used to stand around the decks on a Friday or Saturday night at a party. There'd be a DJ there with the vinyls, and we'd just be passing the mic around back to back all night. That's what we came up on. That's what we got signed for. But then, you know, they changed it to fit the market.
Typical label stuff.
Yeah.
Typical label nonsense.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's interesting though, man. It's interesting.
It's a good insight.
Yeah, man. It's interesting to get some.
As I say, I don't know what the industry's like now. It seems like
Yeah.
artists have a lot more freedom in what they put out now, because especially with rappers and stuff, there's a lot of UK rappers now that seem to be making music that looks like it suits them. It doesn't look like they're trying to cater to a commercial market too much.
I think a lot of them are
They
independent
are.
as well.
They are, but not
They are.
not to the point where
They're
where
not
they're
being forced
becoming
to.
cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
You know
not
what I mean,
being
they're
forced.
kind of, but they're still putting their own flavor on these songs.
Dave would never have succeeded when you was rapping. Someone like
No, but
would
the
Black
industry-
have gone on radio back then?
No.
Do you see what I'm
Probably
saying?
No, yeah, but you got to think, when we was out, we was the only ones that was even kind of rapping.
Yeah.
We was going and doing like Party in the Park with Westlife, Blue, Girls Aloud, Sugar Babes,
Also,
Liberty X, Cheeky Girls. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
That's
sidebar.
what the market was.
Keisha from Sugar Babes is so fine.
Carry on, Melo, please. Please,
Carry on,
please,
Melo.
please.
yo,
Please.
yo, carry on.
I hate your Peter, I hate your sidebars.
I'm just
I
saying.
thought he really
Shout
had
out
something
Keisha.
to say, by the way.
You know what I mean?
I thought he had something.
Melo, please
'cause
continue.
he stopped Melo in his tracks.
she was one of my crushes when I was
Shout
growing
out
up.
to Keisha. We got on well with the Sugar Babes, man. We done a lot of shows with them, man. But
shout
no,
out.
yeah, the market was a lot different back then. So I don't think a lot of the artists that are out now, I don't think they would have made sense in the market back then.
Yeah.
Or but there was a market, but it was underground.
And I think a lot of artists now are independent.
Yeah,
And there was no such thing
AJ
back
Tracy's
then.
completely
Quote, unquote,
independent, innit?
Quote unquote.
Quote, unquote, quote,
AJ
unquote.
Tracy though he is completely independent.
He is, yeah. He's
Yeah.
one of the few who actually are.
Yeah,
Has he got no
So,
backing
like,
at all?
No. If you see a billboard with AJ Tracy on it, him and his team have paid for that.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I
But,
mean?
but they've got to a position where they can now.
Yeah.
No,
exactly,
salute to him
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Salute to AJ Tracy.
Yeah.
Whereas others are fronting like they're independent, but they be getting funded by majors.
Yeah,
What, in the UK?
Yes.
Stormzy.
Stormzy's not independent.
But Stormzy said
No
he was
way.
for years and he wasn't. Allegedly.
We're not going to get into this again.
Yeah.
That's a
Basically,
whole nother
Stormzy tried to say he was
conversation, man.
independent and supposedly had back.
Okay.
I
Or
said,
alleged.
I said we weren't going to get into this. You just went into it.
I'll speak about this off air.
Cool. Is there ever like a desire for you guys to come back and do it like legit, like now?
What, as a full squad?
Yeah.
Nah, nothing. But I mean, I still do a lot of shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you lot do
yeah,
a
we
few
do.
shows.
We're doing like we done it last year. We're doing the second leg this year, like an arena tour with not just us. There's no way we'd sell a whole arena tour now, but it's like us and a lot of the artists that we used to from that time. So we still do a lot of shows, but a lot of the boys are just on different avenues now. But two of the boys, to be fair, are still very much within the music industry. They're producers. They done a lot of the Emily Sandé album, Sam Smith album.
Oh, swear.
Yeah, Mojam. Yeah, I think they even got a what was the award he won for his album? Grammy.
Swear.
Yeah, so that album won a Grammy. So they ended up getting sent a plaque from the Grammys and everything for their production and stuff.
right.
So they're doing really well. They've just got the new H single, Bust Down.
That's them.
Yeah. That's
Sick.
produced by them. Yeah, they've done a lot of the songs that you hear on a lot of the UK albums and stuff now. They've produced a lot of it. Yeah, they're doing really well them too. And then one of the other boys, Ollie, you know Ollie.
Yeah.
He's gone down the management line. He's managing a really, really, really cool artist called Miller Blue. Who you can actually, you guys should check him out on Spotify. He's a really cool artist.
Shout out to him.
So yeah, but I just don't think it would work. All 10 of us getting back together now. I think since we I say split up, we didn't split up because we're still boys. But since it ended all them years ago, I think all 10 of us together have only been in a room. All 10 of us maybe once or twice in the last 15, 16 years.
Yeah, that's a bit.
So yeah.
Happens though, it's life, man.
I mean, we all see each other.
Yeah.
But to get all 10 of us together, like 4 or 5 of us are married now, and not one of the weddings has had all 10 of them there. So yeah.
Happens.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, life gets in the way, man.
100%. Fair enough. All right, guys, let's move on to the first topic.
First.
Yes.
Yeah, we got like 45 minutes, man.
It's the first one. So, yeah. What we're going to talk about now is we're basically going to break down and get into what I think is one of the albums of the year.
K.A.
Kano's Hoodies All Summer. This came out like end of last month. 40 minutes in length. Yeah, man, it's definitely a departure in some ways for Kano, in the sense of like, even though the Maiden Manor was very like grimy / UK hip hoppy, I feel like on Hoodies All Summer there's a lot more of like, especially on a couple songs, like more like dancehall influence, more like dubsteppy but not really dubsteppy influence as well. So it's a little bit of a leap, and you do have the classic grime of tunes like Class of Danger as well.
Yeah.
So
That's a jam.
yeah, I mean, guys, what are our thoughts on the album?
I want to hear Mo's thoughts.
Nah, you lot go first.
Nah, because Mo made me feel like he might say something flagrant.
Nah.
I'll go first.
No, I'm not. Yeah, thank you.
I'll go first. I think it's an incredible album. I think it's one of the albums of the year. I think the length helps it because you don't get dragged down by too much filler.
Yeah.
And he says what he needs to say in a very short space of time. I think Class of Deja is an instant classic tune. Trouble, along with the video, is an amazing song.
What's the one with Popcorn on?
Can't Hold Me Down.
Yeah.
That one.
That one is hard.
Yeah, that's sick.
Pan Fried with Kojo Funds is dope.
Yeah.
The intro is beautiful. Brandy beat, got my beats, sick as well. Like, it isn't a bad song on the album, I don't think.
I didn't like track 10, Suck Your Mum.
You didn't like Suck Your Mum?
Yeah,
I
I didn't like that.
I could have done without that, man.
So could I.
Really?
Do you know what
Yeah.
as well with this album? It was weird, yeah, because when I knew we were talking about this, I'd listened to it already, tried to, and this is what worried me about the album, because it took me a couple of goes to be able to get through it. There was just something that wasn't on the first listen wasn't gripping me and saying, listen to me.
I genuinely feel like people feel that way about Kano, though.
Yeah, but I don't usually.
Yeah.
I love Kano. Like he was in my top 5. You know what I mean? I rate Kano very, very highly, and even on this album, I rate him amazingly on it. I think his flow wise, lyrically, content, everything, he smashes it. You get what you expect to get from Kano. I think the production.
See, I love the production.
I'm not sure on some of the tracks whether the production and Kano fit together.
Any tracks in particular?
I can't really remember the names of the tracks. To
Was
be
it
honest.
Maybe Suck Your Mum?
Suck Your Mum? I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah,
no.
man.
What was it about it that you weren't a fan of?
But I think this album though is one that the more I go back and listen to it, the more I'm gonna love it, because I think there's still a lot of bars and a lot of things that he's trying to say that you maybe missed out on the first listen.
Yeah, see, the first time I heard it, I loved it, and I text like mine and Yemi's group chat with our family, like, was like, yo, this is banging. There's not a bad song on here. So in the first listen, I was just caught up in the hype. I was excited because it's Kano and he's like one of my favorites. And then when I gave it a second listen, like my older brother Rich, he's been on the pod, shout out him. He was like, bro, when you give it a second listen, let me know. So when he said that, I started getting worried. Like, am I going to hear something that I didn't hear the first time?
Yeah.
And I haven't actually asked him what he meant yet, but I just enjoyed the whole album, and I like the social commentary aspect of it.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like putting his arm around like a young lad and just, talking about the ills of society and
He represents London.
yeah, man, and he's like
perfectly.
kind of telling them what
Always
way
has.
to go, letting them know what's out there, and to be careful with this, be careful with that. And I feel like there were so many different themes within this album that I just think he
doesn't do it in a
he smashes.
patronising or insulting way.
yeah,
either.
it's not
all.
not preachy.
Yeah.
I think Akala, no disrespect to Akala, he can be accused of being preachy, whereas Kane don't come across like that on this album. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's a dope album, man. I love like every track, but track 10.
I was happy I got through it, to be fair, and that I gave it another chance, because for some reason, and I don't know why, the first 2 times I tried, I even messaged you about it. I couldn't get gripped into it. I couldn't get pulled into it, but I managed to finally sit and listen properly to the whole album, and I'm glad I did because I would be sitting here otherwise saying something completely different because I now think it's a great album.
Is it because it's different from Made in a Manor?
Yeah, I think it's very different from what I was expecting
Okay.
for Kano. Whereas songs like the Deja song is what you typically expect of Kano. If you listen, if you listen talking about like old school Kano when he first used to come out doing like the Lord of the Mics DVDs and stuff. That's for me is where Kano is at his best. Like that, we was back to back with Gets and D Double. That's how I like to hear Kano. But yeah, I was surprised with the album. It was very different to what I thought.
Yeah. And the production as well, I thought was really good, man. I feel like it was a mix of just great musicality and I don't want this to be insulting, but the basicness of like Esky beats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was like a mix of that on a couple of tracks that I really enjoyed. And I feel like the fact that he was able to juggle the two on this one album is great. It's like a grown grime album.
We're getting a couple of those. And shout out Blue May and Jody Milliner for the production all throughout the album as well. I think they didn't put a foot wrong generally. It helps that they're both in his live band, so that familiarity is there. So I feel like you could definitely hear that on the album. Mo, what are your thoughts?
I don't know why you lot are laughing because you're gonna. I'm not even. Yemi is screwing the fuck out of me, man.
How am I screwing you? I'm not doing anything,
bro.
I'm not doing anything.
No,
I'm not doing anything.
In my defense,
don't defend yourself. Just say your views.
Be real, bro.
I'm gonna keep it buck. I'm gonna keep it buck. I feel like Yemi and Peter Rain really made me dislike this album. Cause let me give you context to why they made me dislike this album.
What, before you heard it, you mean?
No, yeah, not even before I heard it. Just Kano in general. So
Wow.
Wait, what?
Are you gonna let me talk? This is my moment, not yours, sir.
Okay, before you say anything,
Sir,
listeners,
this is my moment, not
me
yours.
and Yemi have said nothing
I
to know about
reclaim
this
my
album.
time back. What did he do in the course in America? I reclaim my time back. Can you stop talking, sir? Thank you very much. Now, back to my point, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Yemi and Peter put Kano on the pedestals of pedestals. So when I listen to, if I tell you, this guy's the greatest, this guy's the greatest, this guy's the greatest. If Michael Jackson. When you listen to Thriller, you're expecting it to be one of the best albums of all time. Do you see what I'm saying? When you put someone on such a pedestal, you're expecting it to be one of the great works.
I do feel Kano has that barrier with some people.
No,
where they hold him so highly that...
And this dude...
And I don't think it counts for this album.
No, but these two bastards do that.
Yeah, where he could do anything and people will say the sun shines out of it.
That's my point, fam. Yeah, because it's these two. So they put... No, let me finish before you lot get involved.
Right, cool.
These two are itching.
No, because like, we've got a group chat, yeah? We've got a group chat. So since I've known Peter and Yemi, I've known Yemi about 3-4 years, Peter about what, 2, 3? 2. So I've not, so for a while. So the day I met them, Kano's the best, no one can touch him, Cool, you finally give me an album in the time I've known these guys. This album better be the shit. Like, this album better be amazing for the level of these guys are putting you on. And then before I even listen to that album, there's someone called Yemi who put a message in the group saying this album's amazing. Before I even listen to this album. So already, when I listen to this, I'm thinking, because of the rapper that these guys say he is, which I've listened to Kano's, you know what I'm saying? The rapper they say he is, and the album that Yemi has said it is, because I trust Yemi's ears, I'm thinking this shit to be wavy. I've now listened to this album.
Kano is wavy on it, though.
No, I've listened to it. It's a good album.
That's it.
Okay.
It's a good album. Now, I feel like I'm in Melo's position where, I listened twice. So maybe I do need to listen 3-4 times before. I'm not saying it's whack, but I'm not saying it's retrospective. No, I'm joking. I'm not saying it's amazing either. I'm saying it's a good album. Maybe I genuinely might need to marinate on it 2 or 3 times more. But it's a good album. Just I don't see it to the level of everyone else has put it.
Who's everyone else though? Because
I've seen a few people gas it on social media. Maybe not gas it because it's for them.
Okay.
Because
I haven't
I'm
actually
on
said
social
anything
media.
to you about the album.
No, Yemi
might have.
Yemi
I haven't
has.
actually.
Yemi
I haven't
has.
said it
It
to anyone.
got 4 stars
Yemi
in
has.
NME.
Yeah, and I remember even like on social media, you see people be like, it's an amazing,
I've only spoken to Yemi and Rich about it. I ain't
No,
spoken
Yemi has
to
put
no
in the
one
group-
else.
Yemi has said in the group that it's
I'm going to talk. Go ahead.
no way. I feel like I'm gonna get yo, Yemi looks like he's gonna punch in my face.
So you feel
Just
like it's
say
just,
what you want to
Vex.
say.
so you feel like it's just a good album.
Cecily.
So you feel like it's just a good album.
It's a good album.
What don't you like about it?
Like you said, I feel like the production sometimes it doesn't fit. But at the same time, it might just be I need to marinate on it a bit more.
Any
So I'm not even
examples?
trying-
Any tracks particularly?
There's a few I can run through it. No, not a few that I don't like. Let me not say it.
No, just any tracks that you feel like the production kind of overshadowed
Hold on, let me
or
go through it.
overwhelmed Kano.
Oh, Sucking Mama hated.
Okay.
for what it's worth. But I said that as well before.
I don't think the production overwhelmed Kano. I think Kano shone better than the production.
Yeah, but he does that anyway. He does that on anything. Like on Made in the Manor, I think more time it was him over the production.
I'm not a massive fan of the Popcorn song, by the way.
Oh, well, I love that song.
No, I love that
I'm
one.
not massive.
I love that one.
Just personally, I'm not massive.
I think that's probably apart from the Deja. So what's the Deja song called? I keep calling it
Deja.
Yeah. Apart from that one, the Popcorn song was my favorite one on the tune. But I love the one that he put out as well, Trouble. I think that's a great song as well.
Trouble, I loved.
And I think where Kano's sprinkling a lot of like, you know, the ills of society, I think songs like the one with Popcorn kind of shone even more.
Yeah.
It makes it well rounded.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna want a constant album of.
No, he needed them songs on there.
You needed the well roundedness.
But again, like I'm not saying it's whack because it's not.
You just weren't wow.
It's just I weren't Little Sims. I weren't whack. Like,
what? So you think Little Sims is better than this?
I feel like Little Sims albums are winning so far. My album of the year. Okay. Personally, I feel like Little Sims still got album of the year for me personally.
I do think it's amazing, and people think it's amazing. I think if it wasn't Kano, it would still be an amazing album. If it was someone else who was rapping the same, or it was just the same album but a different artist, it would still be an amazing album. So I stand by what I said. If you feel like I've put Kano on a pedestal, then fair enough. But I feel like the same way you have for Wretch as well.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
You know,
I think I definitely listen to this album with a different ear, knowing that it's Kano though. For me personally,
yeah, 100%.
Like if it was someone else, then maybe I wouldn't rate it as much. But because listening to what Kano's talking about and knowing, you know, the history of Kano, and you kind of you listen to it differently. If someone else was saying the stuff he's saying the way he's saying it, would you rate it as much? If it was someone that you'd never heard of before, if it was their first album,
I still think it was dope.
Would you think it was amazing if it was their first album? It was this album was the first time you heard someone.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of depth.
I think so.
For a first album,
I think so.
There's a lot of depth there, man. And it's I think it's kind of scary. Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I feel like for you to, if just, you know, hypothetically, if this was a first album, for this to be what it is, it'll kind of give me that Dave feel where, like, you know, you're really commentating on, you're reflecting the times. That's what you want artists to do.
Yeah.
Like Nina Simone's always banged on about like artists reflecting the times. That's why I think this album's going to be very important, because I feel like he's doing just that.
Yeah.
And he's not doing it, and he's not doing it in a preachy way. And I think it's very hard to do. Like artists like Common that, you know, talk about, you know, society and things like that, they can come across very preachy and sometimes corny, but Kane is able to still be cool with it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'll play this album for my little cousin, and I don't think he would feel like I'm telling him what to do.
Okay, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
You
know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas with a Carla or whoever, they may,
preachy,
it'll be a bit different.
Yeah.
And I feel like by our very nature as fans, if we're a fan of someone, we're gonna big up their work.
Yeah, of course.
A little bit more than maybe it deserves. I think in this case, it deserves the praise it's getting.
I disagree with that. I think we're even harsher. If we put them on a pedestal, we're even harsher.
I think we have to unlearn the idea of bigging someone up to the point where we are criticizing them. Right. I don't think it's a natural inclination to judge them harshly as it is to enjoy it a lot more than it is.
You'll give it more listens and more tries before you say it's. Do you see what I'm saying?
See, because this is
if it's someone you usually enjoy, you'll give it another chance and listen again maybe. Where if it's someone that you're usually not that into, but it was exactly the same album but you're not usually into them, you're gonna hear it the first time and be like, nah, I'm not giving it another chance.
I'm different. I'm very harsh. If like I love you, I'm even harsher.
No, I'm the opposite.
So like with Kano, I had this whole like thing in my head where I was gonna like chill and just play the album. But I went to see Rich and he was like, bro, on your way home, just press play. So I had no time to prep my mind mentally for taking in time. I just pressed play. And I was just like, raw, like track after track after track, and I weren't skipping it. And I weren't even checking to see what the name of the song was. I was just enjoying what I was hearing. So I was like, yeah, this is a banging album. And that's when I got gassed. And that's when I texted the group chat. I was like, yo, Kano's got one.
You haven't always been harsh though, have you?
I think over the years where a lot of my favorites started dropping mediocre projects, I became a lot harsher. Because where so much music is being released, like time is precious, man. So I'm not even getting the time to listen to everything.
So if you're, with online music and stuff, it's a lot different. It's not like I remember, like when I was younger, like you know, you get your pocket money or whatever it was, and the album that you want would be out. You'd have to get on the bus and physically go out, walk in the shop and queue up and buy that album, go home, put it on, sit there looking through the book. It was an experience.
those
Like,
days.
having a new album was an experience. Now it's just on like the scroll of a phone.
Exactly.
And that fun part of it is completely gone.
And there's so much of it. So now if like I'm now taking my time out to listen to your album and it isn't great, I'm gonna be vexed.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
But
like,
you give them more
out of a
tries,
list,
though.
yeah, of course. Out of the list of albums that I need to get through, I'm choosing to listen to yours and it's whack. I'm gonna trash that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? So I became harsh.
But what's whack
Peter's
to you
different
isn't
to a lot of
necessarily
niggas.
whack to someone else.
Oh yeah,
innit?
of course.
I'm gonna give Kano more tries though. Like it might be a Melo situation. I need to listen to it 3-4 times because I've been in that situation a few times.
Is it his best album yet?
Conceptually, yeah, I'd say so. I'm probably still gonna put Home Sweet Home over it just because of what it meant. But as far as albums and bodies of work, it's got to be. Because I said that the same for Made in a Manor, and I still think Made in a Manor is a great album too.
Made in a Manor, yeah. Made in a Manor, I would say I probably preferred.
Okay. I'm not gonna say which one I prefer just yet. This one needs to live a bit
On
more.
first listen.
Yeah, and it just needs to be out for longer. I've had
On
more
first
time
listen, I
with Made in a
prefer
Manor, innit?
Hoodies All Summer.
Huh?
On
Yeah.
first listen, I prefer Hoodies All Summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've listened to it like 6 times now, and
On the album,
it's
it's gonna be a classic.
I definitely need to go again on it.
I mean, I said the same about Made in a Manor, and no one really remembers it, which is a shame. But
Don't they?
not really. No.
Not really.
A lot of people didn't like Made in a Manor.
Really?
Yeah,
A lot of people did not like Made in
I
a
can
Manor.
tell.
Yeah, boy, I mean, you ain't in these streets, but
No, that's
Fair
what's
enough.
amazing. Like, he really isn't, but
he ain't.
and he's shocked when someone tells him.
Yeah,
something
but we
different.
saw
Facts.
Kane perform though. He performed when the album dropped, and like everyone was going nuts.
That's because they were his fans.
Yeah, and people that but it weren't his show.
Oh, my fault.
It was
my
at a
fault,
festival.
My fault.
And just people I've spoken to, like, everyone's loved the album. So it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, those sort of fans don't necessarily dictate the conversation anymore. I think it's more so like the casual fans who will listen to like the more casual stuff rather than the heads that are really dominating the chat as to what is good and what isn't.
Yeah.
So in your circles, you're going to hear that because you hang around those type of people.
Yeah.
But in general rap circles, I mean, it came out the same year. Made in a Manor came out the same way as Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa won a Mercury. Made in a Manor was nominated. I think Made in a Manor should have won it simply for what it was saying and what the subject matter was and stuff. But
Sometimes I feel like I need Kano to get more like praise though, man. There's just something.
he definitely
about,
needs more praise.
I don't know what it is though. Like I'm
Kano
not
gets
saying-
his-
I think Kano is if you talk to any like rap head that listens to rap in general, and you're talking about UK rappers, Kano's in their top 5.
I was gonna say that Kano
Top three.
gets.
Do you know what?
Kano
Top
gets
three.
his just
Yeah,
dues,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
You
Kano
say that,
gets
but I
his
feel
just
like
dues.
I think a lot more people draw for Wretch or Gets more.
Nah, Kano
Nah.
gets.
And I don't know why.
Wretch. I feel like Wretch, yeah, because I feel like Wretch
And
is-
Skepta.
And I think Kano would be your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Yeah, or Wretch.
Yeah.
I think one of them two. No bias aside, but I do feel like Kano now gets his just dues. I've never spoke to a person that knows hip hop. Like even me, Kano's still my top 3. I'm not exactly saying that Kano's top 2 actually. Kano's taken from me after Wretch. Greatest rapper that's ever come out of the UK.
He's got one bar on that new album, innit, when he says,
Got Kane.
yeah, on the new album, he says something about killer MC with bare different flows or something, and then killer MC with presence alone.
Yeah.
And it's true, he can.
I think that's on Deja.
Yeah, Kano is that guy.
Just
If
his
you was
sheer
an MC
presence.
and you're in a room MCing at an event or something, and you see Kano walk in the room, the hairs on your back of your neck are standing up, and all of a sudden you're seeing this mic completely different because Kano is
It's
in
a
the
different
room.
kind of pressure,
Yeah.
innit? It's a different kind of
This
pressure.
is all great, but I still think it's still like a certain audience. I don't necessarily think he's everyone's cup of tea because of a lot of things, really. People sometimes don't understand what he's saying. Maybe sometimes the language is a bit too coded, whereas someone like Rich, a lot more clear, a lot more understandable, someone like Skepta as well. I think that is a hindrance to him as well. Obviously, he isn't always as grimy as we would like him to be, so maybe that's a thing against him as well. So it definitely depends on who you're asking. I think
Yeah.
in the general sense, people are going for more explosive MCs.
Does
people
he-
who have hits,
Yeah, but
people who have
I
this,
got a
that, and the
question.
other.
But sorry,
Go.
Mo. You're saying he's not always grimy, and that's what people complain about. But I still feel like he still flexes lyrically, like on the not so grimy tunes.
Yes,
And
but
I don't feel like there's any type of track that he doesn't really flex like that. Because even on what's the name of the tune? I think it's Got My Brandy and on Beats or something like that. Like I think that's like a heartbreak tune, but he's still like barring. So it's like
100%.
I don't
but
think you could ever take from him his performance lyrically.
Yeah, he
No
never
matter
really
what type
softens
of-
himself down.
You know what I'm
does he?
saying?
I don't necessarily think it's the performance lyrically. It's more so the sound, I think. Maybe people want him on different sounds. Maybe they want him more grime as opposed to hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It might be that.
I'd
I'm
agree
just
with that.
speculating.
Yeah, because I think like I said, the only issues I had with the album, and I couldn't pinpoint the songs, so I don't know the album well enough yet. But there was 1 or 2 songs on there where the beats were rolling, and it's good. I wouldn't say they're dead bit. It's good production, but it just didn't feel right with the flows the way Kano flows and the way Kano. It almost felt like he was waiting for him to go out of time or come off beat on it.
I feel you.
And it's hard to kind of catch a head bop to it.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
It's like the second track. It's like Good Youths.
Yes.
I didn't like that
Evil.
song.
Yes, I think
wasn't
yes,
fond
it's
of
that
song
track. It's
either.
the second track.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. So I feel you. You didn't like that song?
Nah,
Damn, man.
just that one and Suck Your Mum.
Bruh.
But the beat switch on Teardrops. Yo, I
Yeah,
really
you-
dropped a teardrop, fam. It was that good.
Is that the one where the
you would.
gospel choir come in? Yeah.
I was like,
mad.
oh my word,
Yeah,
how
it's
dare you?
mad.
I was like, how dare you,
Oh, Kane, don't do it to him.
This guy, I
bro?
hate
And
him.
then when Gets came in on Class of Deja,
Yeah, mad.
bro, I was like, nah, man.
Nah,
I
really-
got gas. I got so happy, bro. Because
definitely
them two were like flipping Andy Cole and Dwight York for me,
Yeah.
man.
They were in it.
Yeah.
They were in
Their
it.
chemistry is just like it's just mad.
It's just
But
there. It's
to
there.
the point where they're so good together that sometimes it's hard to differentiate when one stops and the other one
Yeah.
starts because they're that well gelled together.
I had that on this song actually.
Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah,
point.
for real. There was a lot of
actually
that
good.
during the song.
Mm.
The double came through as well. But yeah, man, all in all, I think it's a dope album. I think for someone like Kane who comes in, does his business, kind of goes away, comes back, like he's given us 2 great albums in a row after like years of like trying to experiment and stuff. So now I think he's definitely on the right track as far as what he wants to rap about and the kind of music he's rapping over. So I think he's definitely in a good place. And that's very good for us as fans and like the scene at large. So yeah, man, very, very happy with the album.
Also, none of us we all kind of agree here, then, innit? Because I think it's a solid album. I just don't think it's. I wouldn't
No,
say.
I think you two are on the same. You and
Yeah,
Melo are on the same
yeah,
page. Me and Yemi.
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
same
Yeah, I
page.
think we all appreciate.
We
the
all
album. I just
appreciate
think
the album. No
you
one's
two
saying
maybe
it's
you two maybe
like it.
more so
Yeah,
than we
yeah,
did. Yeah.
But I feel like again that might be a case where if we listen to it a couple of more
Yeah.
times, or it might be generally because you man are more of a Kano fan than.
I was just
Well,
about
I
to
am
say.
anyway.
I was just about to say the 2 Kano fans are saying that it's a dope album. The 2
But
rap
I'm
fans are saying it's a solid.
a
It's a
huge
solid
Kano
album.
fan.
Yeah,
I
I know
hold Kano
that,
over Rich.
Do you?
Yeah. Kano's
Okay.
one of my
Wait, what?
my favorites.
I thought Rich was your
for
number
me.
one.
No.
No, he didn't do it in order.
I said Rich.
It wasn't
in
They
order.
weren't in
Okay,
order.
okay,
No. Kano for me is one of my favorite MCs. But this album, this is one. Like I said earlier, it's one of them things. Maybe if you ask me again in a couple of weeks' time and I've heard it a few more times, it's a completely different answer.
See, I hold Gets over Rich.
Do you?
Yeah,
Same.
and I think that was after
Get.
that was after one
Yes.
episode that we had. I can't remember, but like, no, Gets is special. He's special.
Alright, cool.
And even another feeling that I had from this album is that I feel like the older statesmen of like UK scene and the grime scene are like really aging well.
Oh no, we're Asian amazing.
In the
Bro,
last
UK.
few
it's so
years,
dope, man.
Kano's dropped 2 dope albums. Gets has dropped a couple dope albums. Skepta has dropped 2 solid
Rich
albums.
has given us some.
We're talking about
Rich
rapping.
has dropped,
We're
Rich has
talking about
dropped
rapping.
2 good
We're
albums.
talking about rapping.
Huh?
I'm saying who's the better rapper.
No,
No,
I'm just
but
talking
we're
about
talking
just musically, just
Yeah.
aging musically.
Oh, my
well.
fault. I thought you were trying to send a shot to Rich.
I just said Rich like just dropped a.
I
What's
thought
the matter with you,
I don't know, I
man?
thought
The
you were
main
gonna
point
send a
is
shot.
the old generation of grime heads, maybe minus Wiley, are aging like wine and dropping dope work, which was very much needed back in the day when people didn't really rate grime as much. But now we can see that these guys are actually like elder statesmen that are putting out dope music.
And they're just getting better lyrically as well. Like Chip, I feel like you may not like his album, similar to what Melo said earlier, and his mixtapes, but rapping, he's just
Yeah,
getting better
rapping
as
wise,
well.
yeah.
Do you think there's a
Rapping wise,
reason
you can't touch him.
Do you think there's a reason why though?
What he's
Like,
what his
why
albums
is it?
and that.
Why in UK do we get better? It's because it doesn't happen in America.
No, it
I don't
does.
feel as often.
I mean, there's,
We literally said
I think there are a lot
majority-
of examples
No,
in
but I
the
said
US.
we said majority of our rappers here kind of age.
The older ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
they age really well here.
Yeah, but even our older
Chip
ones,
has
they're
gone
not
a lot
really
better.
that old, are they? Because
Yeah,
they
they're not that
they started so
That's
young.
a good shout.
That's
actually.
You know what I mean? Like, you
Because
look
Kane's
at,
only like 30.
A lot of them are still 80s
yeah,
babies.
Kano's like a year older
that?
than me.
A lot of them are still 80s babies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Red
mid-80s.
Chip is only like 28, 29. Chip's a year
Exactly.
older than us.
Like, you look at. Do you remember? Did you see the Lord of the Mics DVDs and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Like when Kano's at the bottom of them stairs, MC.
Like Wiley as
How
well.
old does he look there?
Yeah,
Look,
he
what?
looks like 16.
15,
Yeah,
16,
something like
yeah.
that.
He be
So
Wiley
from
that
there,
old.
even there to now, 16 years or whatever, and he's still only mid 30s. So that's why they're getting better because they're not old yet, are they?
That's a good shout.
And even like Bashy, even though like he's not really making music anymore,
Oh,
he's,
he's
in the acting, but he's still aging
No,
well.
no, he
like,
aged well though.
so
But
I'm
he
saying-
can rap now. He can rap.
And I think Kano had a bar about him, them two, like, I think they were
Yes.
shopping for matching cars.
Yeah.
And that's what made me think of Bashy. Then I went back and listened to Risky Roads.
Mm.
And then I was listening to Bashy's Freestyle. I was like, yeah, man, Bashi was also another one he was different.
Yeah.
It's a good thing though, man. Like their age, good him, man. Like Wretch is getting busy still. There's a lot of rappers that still get besides Wiley.
I wouldn't.
I
I'd
think
say
Wiley's still doing okay.
They've all matured.
Wiley's still doing his thing, but musically he's not really there.
Yeah.
Now Wiley's in his own head.
Didn't he have that tune?
What, Boasty?
Yeah, that's still something.
And
but he's
my
in
one
his-
or something now as well, innit? He's got that tune out with Dappy, Tory Lanez, and someone else.
Yeah,
at the moment.
he's doing something new musically anyway. So I suppose that's
He's
his
kind of in
shift.
his own. He's on his own mind, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, he's in his own mind.
He's in his own mind.
Yeah, shout out Wiley though. He called Drake and Ed Sheeran culture vultures.
I mean, I'm not gonna personally shout
Yeah,
him out.
that was a good interview. That
That was a very good interview,
that was a
innit? He
great
was just
listen, yeah.
shouting. Shout out Doty for
He did not
taking
let her
that.
talk, bruv.
He did not let her
He
talk.
did not let her talk, bruv.
At
She tried to
all.
say something,
But
No,
he respectfully didn't let her talk, innit?
Yeah, but
he kept telling her, "You're my don, you're
you
my
know what I mean?
guy."
Like,
This and that.
can you imagine disrespecting someone saying, "Yo, you're my don," but yo, what did he say? Like, I remember he said something wild to her, but he's like, "Don't worry, you're my don, but you're sucked in," or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like, yo, you're disrespecting her with one hand, and then it's like, oh man, shout out to Wiley, though.
Bruv,
Man.
he's an uncle. Like, in the purest sense. Man want rave, bruv.
He definitely likes the purest form.
100%. I see what you
That was
did
a very
there.
good one.
I see what you did
Not getting
there.
it, you get it. That's not getting edited out.
That was a bar and a half.
That was good.
That was a bar and a half.
I tried, guys. I tell you, I could have been a rapper.
Well, speaking of rapping,
You lot think it's a joke. I've been saying I could have been a rapper.
fair enough, man. Well, safe. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So, yeah, man, we've come to the day where we are going to talk about a rapper who has been the source of a lot of contention and arguments on this podcast, especially.
J. Cole?
I remember in the first episode when I said I liked one of this guy's songs, and Peter tried to say that I did not like one of those songs.
Absolute
I don't know
villain.
why I didn't snuff him there and then, but we move. So we're going to get into a very...
You still
I
don't like
suppose-
us like that, man.
A very... Can you let me
Continue,
talk? You want to let me talk? You want to let me talk?
Yo, continue the
You want to let me
intro,
talk?
man. Continue.
You want to let me
It's
talk?
absolute villain.
I'll throw the mic at you, bruv. Anyway, we're going to get into a deep assessment over the career and legacy of one Marshall Mathers, Eminem, Slim Shady. I think those are all his names. Yeah, I don't even know where we start, to be honest, because obviously
where do you
he's
start?
he's a certified legend in my view.
Isn't
one
he
of
like the highest selling of all time as well, rapper?
That's
100%,
believable. It's believable.
100%.
He's definitely a legend.
Easily one of the nicest to do it.
Easily.
And obviously there's a bit of contention because of what he used to be and what he is now, and whether that affects his legacy or whether that affects his impact. So I'm just gonna open up the floor, guys. What do we think of Eminem and his career?
Shall I go first?
Peter, just go first, man.
Oh yeah, I feel like Pete's could spark a good debate. Go on. I want to hear what Peter's got to say.
Before you say anything, audience, I want you to know that even though Peter has been shitting on Eminem, all of these episodes of the podcast, he came into the studio today to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna take it easy on Eminem today." Fam, no, you're not.
Yo, just say your truth.
I mean, M's a great lyricist, always has been, and he's still a decent rapper. My only issue with M is I just feel as though he's overrated. I've kind of always felt that way. I feel like because of his skin color, he's been propelled to a status that I don't feel like is necessarily fair. I feel like there are a lot of MCs that lyrically can do what he do. They may not be able to make the pop songs, but lyrically they can do what he does. But they haven't been able to be propelled as much. And obviously that's not M's fault, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I loved Eminem growing up. I'm not gonna act like I didn't. I loved Eminem growing up, man. Like Stan, like is still to me one of the greatest hip hop songs ever. The storytelling on that is perfect. Like lyrically, that song is perfect. The Slim Shady LP, I loved that project. Marshall Mathers LP, I loved it. Eminem Show was decent too. I think that's when it started going
decent.
downhill for me.
Eminem Show was his last great album, I think.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, fine. You can say
That
that.
was an amazing album.
You can say that. Encore. Yeah, nah. And then I stopped listening after Encore. I'm gonna be real. And then I came back round when he dropped Relapse.
Recovery?
Is it? No, Relapse.
Relapse, okay.
Yeah, Relapse. I tried to listen to Relapse when he was experimenting with all the different accents and stuff. And then after that, I was done. So I don't even have too much beef
Did you
with
listen
him.
to Kamikaze, the latest one?
I won't listen to Eminem's albums no more. I won't lie to you.
You should give
His
it a
music,
Period.
Do you know?
I've-
Yeah, when I was younger, I could probably take it in a lot more. I was more open-minded. As I've gotten older, the content that Eminem kind of spits about, I just can't really relate to, and it just doesn't appease me. I think even musically, the musicality of his music just doesn't do much for me anymore. So I'm not really big on M. You know, I salute his legacy. He's always going to be one of the greatest lyricists to me. I just don't rate him as highly as everyone else. That's the only issue. Because I think everyone rates him so highly. I think people get onto me when they hear that I don't rate him as highly. Because it's just like someone, for example, not rating Jay or Nas highly. M's in that, he's in that ballpark as well, isn't it? I just don't rate him as highly as everyone else.
You also want him away from you and your family.
Oh yeah, his music, nah. I'm not trying to hear like Kim in 2019. But like maybe like 20 years ago, that was amazing to me. Like the storytelling behind that was just amazing. Like it was horrorcore. It was just great. It was great.
It was like a movie. In
You
a
know what
CD.
I'm saying? But that's all. Like I respect Eminem, man. That's all it is.
You should definitely give his latest album, Kamikaze, a go. It feels like it's Eminem back with a bit of fire in the belly again.
Okay.
Going at a lot of people that have said stuff about him, critics and whatnot. And it's not, you know, he's got rid of them stupid accents and talking nonsense about this and that. And he's just addressing what people have addressed about him.
But even with the thing with that, I feel as though he hasn't really been in any like rap beefs with anybody respectable. I feel like even with going at people, he always goes after the Britney Spears, the Limp Bizkits.
Yeah. But in his defense,
but he ain't barring people that have sent for him.
Who sent for him with that bars?
There's been a couple indirects that if you're a rap fan, you will catch.
Nas
has sent a couple cheeky jabs at him.
Nas has done a few,
and M didn't want it.
But has anyone physically actually out, or is it just a little cheeky 1-2 jabs?
Nas sent a couple 1-2 jabs. I think even with Royce the 5'9", when I can't remember, it was a tune.
Royce the 5'9" sent for Eminem.
They had beef.
Yeah, they had beef.
Where they fell out and stuff. And obviously, I'm not going to put it down to M being shook. Maybe it's just respected the friendship too much. But what I'm saying is, he hasn't really gotten into any sort of combat with anyone.
He hasn't. Like Benzino, Ja Rule, Mariah Carey, and Nick Cannon.
You could say Cannabis, but Cannabis was even at the
Cannabis
end of
at that point wasn't anybody like that. Like that. Not respect to Cannabis. He wasn't.
But what does it prove? What does it prove about Eminem if he does?
I feel like you could then maybe talk more about his lyrical ability as far as his competitors are concerned.
I don't feel like beef.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Who was better on Renegade?
M.
That's not even a clear cut thing to me because
I think it is.
Jay was talking. All right,
let me ask
the question. Eminem had the better verse.
There was 2 verses each.
Eminem's verses were better than Jay's.
Yeah.
But Jay was still talking his shit.
Of course he was, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it, man. I'm not hating on M, man. I don't like this narrative.
I'm kind of the same, but not really in the sense of like I loved his first 3 albums, front to back. Encore, I liked. Relapse, I wasn't too keen on it, but it's Eminem. I'm gonna give him another go. Hated Recovery.
Don't do that.
And I haven't been back since.
I wasn't a fan of Recovery.
I liked Recovery.
I did not.
More than I liked Encore and Relapse.
What about Marshall Mathers LP 2?
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I hated
I
that.
liked in that.
I liked
mix,
Rap God. Rap God was cool because that kind of showed me that he can do this.
Bro, I hated that
busy.
song. I hated Rap God. You know that?
Damn.
The 8 minutes of. I didn't like it.
Fair enough.
But this is my issue.
And even that album, sorry to cut you off,
man.
I think that was the Marshall Mathers LP 2.
Yeah, I did.
That album was produced by my man, Beastie Boys. What's his name?
Beastie Boys.
Rick Rubin.
All right.
Swear.
And that album should have been sick.
Rick Rubin produced it.
And I gave a couple tunes, like a couple listens, and it just wasn't it for me.
If Eminem stopped rapping after Eminem Show, he would have been my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah. To be fair, for me, he still is my favorite of all time, just because of those 3 albums. And there's never been an artist whose album has gripped me so much as the Marshall Mathers LP. And I think it's just because his story was so different to anything else you was hearing. Like, okay, Jay-Z, sick, Nas, sick, but you was getting the same stories just from a different perspective with those guys. Eminem, you was getting a completely different story, something you'd never heard before, and someone that really, really did not give a shit to say anything about anyone or anything. There was no secrets or anything with his whole life. You know what I mean? It was so laid out bare that, you know,
it is what it is.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone's ever done that the way that he did.
So like you feel like there was like an honesty,
definitely,
and an earnestness,
and a ruthlessness. So I'm gonna say this, and I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
The reason why,
Yeah, and it's like it
think
was
it's been
great
done
back
before.
then. It was
Before
great.
Not
Eminem,
to
I
that
think-
extent.
I think Tupac. was
Okay, yeah.
extremely honest.
He was.
We saw everything. He addressed
Yeah.
everything that he ever dealt with.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying,
But
though.
there's a lot of
think to a
Tupac
certain extent.
influence in Eminem.
Well, Tupac.
Yeah, you can tell that he's very, very highly influenced by Tupac. I think on some of his,
And it's not
especially
when
songs
it's-
like Soldier.
Yeah. And obviously Eminem was a lot more graphic with
Yeah,
things than anyone really.
Yeah.
I think my thing is he's always been kind of like goofy
Mm.
because of the things he's rapped about. I suppose now because the subject matter was better with the first 3 albums, now that he doesn't have as much to rap about, the goofiness shows a lot more, and that might affect your opinion of him, especially if he can't make good music or good albums. I think generally, like as an artist, he's always been someone who's been very like hands-on, or in the latter part, like wanting to produce and stuff like that. I think that's hindered him because I don't think he's that great of a producer or anything like that. I think if he'd stayed with like Dre or like just like better producers, then we might be saying something different about him as well. It's a bunch of different things, man. But you can't take away his lyrical ability.
No.
no, he's
At all.
one of the
You
nicest.
feel like I was doing that?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I feel like sometimes you do. I feel like he's goofy.
In a
You forget
sense.
how nice Eminem is with it.
I think if you listen to his new album Kamikaze, I think it's definitely worth giving a listen to hear lyrically and flow wise. He comes completely different to how he's come before. It's on some songs. It's almost like he's showing off. He's showing off how he can put words together and flow and rhyme and still make it make sense and put jibes in at people. Yeah, literally, it feels like he's done this album on some songs to just take the piss,
Just to still prove he's got
just to show off. Yeah, this is what I can do.
My only issue with him.
Sorry, before you answer that, Mo, can I ask how you guys feel like I'm taking away from his lyrical ability?
I feel like
I don't personally think you did. To be
I
fair.
feel like knowing you, sometimes your I won't say anger towards Eminem because it's not, but like your dislike towards Eminem shadows how nice he is at rapping.
I
Do you get what I'm
agree.
saying?
I
That's
agree.
natural though.
I agree.
If you don't like someone or whether you don't like him, I'm not gonna say you don't like him, but once it is what it is, like you don't care about that person anymore, you can't help but be like, you can't help it. It's just human nature.
And if you don't like the content, that's going to help too.
Exactly.
No, but I disagree with that because content or not, whether he talks about chopping up his baby mum and putting her in a boot or not, like, I still love him lyrically. I've always loved Eminem lyrically. I just don't rate him as highly as everyone else. I don't think that's me taking away from how great lyrically he is. Because, come on, man, like we're all heads here. Like we can't. There's no way you could take away from how nice M is. Like, that's impossible.
Maybe it's the way you.
I think I joke a lot.
It's the
and I
way
feel
you
like-
word. That's
It's the way you word.
it.
It's the way you word things.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's your demeanor when we talk about Eminem. You instantly like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're going mad. You're going mad. So it's like,
no, you could do that. You could do that again. He could.
you know what I'm saying? He goes, "Ah," you know what
I
I'm saying?
disagree, man. I just feel like
Sorry.
He takes the fedora and goes, "Ah."
So do you two guys, because it's just going off something Peter touched on when he was first talking about Eminem, do you guys think that Eminem being white helped him get higher than he should have been? Or
100%.
That plays a factor in life.
100%.
That's just it goes hand in hand.
He hit an audience that other rappers hadn't even scratched back then.
'Cause you
White
need to-
kids in the suburbs who maybe didn't want too much of the black shit, but here's this white rapper, beach blonde hair, who's rapping out the sort of things that I feel like, fuck you, mom, like, fuck you,
But
this
like,
girl,
what-
this,
yeah.
that, and the other.
but does it
I
take
think-
away from his niceness?
No. I'm
No,
just saying
no,
the reason why he
no,
got propelled
no,
to where
at
he
all.
is. What other rapper could speak about what he spoke about when he first came in and gone that high that quick? Normally rappers
I think
come
a
out
lot,
with
I think a lot
like
of it was Dre as well. He had Dre behind
no,
him.
but I'm just saying rap about like say J. Cole for example. J. Cole came out with like work out, can't get enough, and then he started doing what he really wanted.
I think that just happens for
Eminem
white
came out
rappers.
talking about killing his mum, and he still got propelled to where he got
I think
propelled
that just
to.
happens for white rappers.
wild.
It's the same thing for the Beastie Boys. The Beastie Boys were popular and was commercially successful because they were marketable to a white audience, whereas their black peers like Run DMC, even though they were doing great, weren't as much because of the same reason. I think it's the same thing with Eminem. I think it's the same thing with like any white rapper, really.
Who's that big, the big fat white rapper that come out with Timberland?
Bubba Sparks.
Yeah. So what about him then? Why wasn't he?
It was
it plays hand in hand. Eminem was nice.
Okay, yeah.
Eminem, great
being
music.
white as well, you
It
get
just
judged
helps.
just
It just
even
it
harder as
furthers
well,
it.
if you're
Don't get me
rubbish.
wrong. If you're white, like there's been a lot of white rappers that ain't been nice and haven't gone anywhere because it goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
like
so it works the other way
Yeah,
as
like
well.
H isn't the first UK white rapper, but H is nice with it.
Yeah.
That's why he's getting to the level he's getting to. Eminem, for me, if he stopped rapping after, like I said, it would have been one of the nicest. Maybe my favorite, but one
He's
of the
still
nicest.
one of the nicest.
No, I'm just saying he would have been if he stopped after 2003. He would have been
'cause you
arguably top
have no
5.
negatives
Do
on
you know
him.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Arguable top 5 of all time. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you're that good, so we're saying his first 3 albums, he was looking at a top 10 rapper of all time. When you're that good, and then white people could be like, we can cling on to that guy because like we've got someone just as good as everyone else. It goes all, and then the music was still backing him up as well.
Yeah.
His cheesy songs were still good songs.
And there's some rappers out there you can see they just see words differently.
Yeah.
Eminem sees words and the dictionary differently to a lot of people. Like, have you guys seen the extended, deleted rap battle scenes from 8 Mile?
Nah, never seen him.
Where
He battled Marv 1.
Oh, swear.
Yeah,
So-
he battled Marv 1.
during the filming, they saw like
Yeah,
the
I've seen
crowd
that,
doing
seen that,
like
yeah.
loads of battles between themselves. So they wanted to film some bits just to put as like skits in between. And to cut a long story short, they picked 3 or 4 people out of the crowd to battle Eminem, but Eminem had to just mime and pretend because they weren't going to use the audio. So these rappers were able to spit at Eminem, and they had time to write and prepare as well. So they spat these bars at Eminem, and he had to kind of mime. And then the first time he done it, the crowd was like, cool. And then the second time, the guy come at him and like cussed Eminem's mum. Eminem started miming and he heard the crowd start booing. Eminem turns the mic on and you see the guy's soul leave his body when he sees Eminem turn the mic on, and he bodies him off the top of his head, 3 of them in a row, and just bodies them.
And what's
off the
crazy-
top
He's
of
a
his
battle
head.
rapper though, Eminem,
Great.
isn't he?
Huh?
Eminem's a
He
battle
came
rapper.
from-
Yeah.
He came from that.
What's crazy is one of the guys in that cutscene is a guy called Marv 1 who's a battle rapper.
Is that the big guy?
Yeah, the big fat one. That's a legit
When he
battle
says, "Let me
rapper.
place the mic right
Yeah,
here," puts it
yeah.
between his titties.
And he's a legit battle rapper,
Yeah.
and he kind of bodied, he bodied Marv 1. But
Yeah.
like,
But even what M does lyrically, I feel like Pharoah Monch does the same thing. So I don't understand why. So my critique
As
comes
critique-
in as to why someone like a Pharoah Monch
Because
ain't
Pharoah
mentioned in
Monch doesn't make popular music.
that's what he
And it's
that's-
but I'm
and
t-
content
that's all it
as
is.
well.
Yeah, but even lyrically, like M's respected lyrically for what he does, and he's propelled quite high. Someone like a Pharoah Monch, I feel like should equally be propelled as high.
But his music doesn't.
Yeah, but also like people like Pharoah Monch, they just keep quiet. They just do their stuff and move on. They don't make
M
noise.
keeps quiet too. We don't hear
Eminem.
from M unless he drops an album. The guy he's been dropping an album and then disappearing for the last
Yeah,
10
but when
years.
he
When
drops,
Eminem
it
He
first
hasn't
came
always
out,
been
big
that way.
news.
He hasn't always been that way.
when Eminem first came out, he was flooding the scene.
Was he? Would you say flooding the scene? He had the machine
I mean,
behind him doing it for him.
Not
But
flooding the scene, but like he knew what he was in. When you're
Yeah,
first song
because
is Hi, my
he had
name-
Marshall Mathers LP coming out, or was it Slim Shady LP? And then you had the Dre album dropping at similar times. So he was on his stuff. Then he was on Forgot About Dre. You know what I
He
mean?
was
So
doing a lot.
He was out.
doing a lot for
He
the
was
first
out
three,
and about.
4
Yeah.
years. He was doing a lot.
those are great times too.
Yeah, great time. Probably one of my favorite times in hip
Yeah.
hop back then.
The
Definitely.
box.
The only reason why Eminem isn't, there's not another rapper that's had in my opinion, as a bad a run as Eminem ever.
It's bad a run.
Yeah,
As far as like albums.
yeah. If his last good album to me was 2003, and we're now 2019, what rappers had as bad as run as the Eminem?
None come to mind right
That's
now.
that level.
Yeah, but I feel like even that, and
On
I'm
that
gonna,
level.
I'm gonna defend M in that respect because Recovery was a good album. So you're probably thinking about because
I said I like Recovery.
yeah, but because
I'm
Slim
just saying-
Shady LP was
yeah,
so
yeah,
good,
yeah,
Marshall
yeah,
Mathers was
yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Those are like
Eminem show.
classics.
Definitely.
They're definitely classics.
Definitely
I
classic.
think because he hasn't made music that has reached those heights, you're throwing that
yeah,
in his
yeah.
run.
Which
I
is
like-
probably
But
why.
in between that, he's had decent albums.
I don't think I
And
like.
then he's had some god awful albums too.
To me, the only good one was
Shout out Walk on
Recovery,
Water.
and I said that earlier because he had Talking to Myself, Not Afraid. No, he had a few songs that, but it wasn't like it's Eminem, bro. Like we've all clarified how good he's at
and as
rapping.
much as I wasn't really a fan of Relapse, it still, you put the album on and it still made me laugh. You know what I mean? There's still songs on there that made me laugh.
I get it's like
I think it's a special case when, especially if we're assessing a legend, even if they've been on a bad run because they want such a good run to begin with, it's kind of hard to take away from the legacy.
Yeah.
You can create and put out 10 trash albums if you put out 3 back-to-back classics. I don't think it necessarily matters
it can't be a fluke.
because you can ignore.
Nah, 3 albums ain't
no
no
way.
I think it
Three
matters.
albums
I'm
ain't
joking.
a
I'm
fluke.
joking. I'm just saying shit. What you say?
I think it can matter. I think if Jay-Z's next 5, 6, 7 albums are really bad,
Then Jay-Z not the best.
I
My
think
favorite
Yeah,
anymore.
but Jay-Z's had
it's
some
gonna.
albums
I
that
think
weren't
it's gonna
great.
matter in a sense.
Jay-Z's had some albums
Because
that weren't
Eminem would have
great
been.
though.
What
Yeah,
you
for
say?
sure. But I think the number's very small.
Is that
Yeah,
your,
but
is
he-
that going to affect your opinion of Jay-Z?
No, but that's a personal favorite.
I think it would. It would definitely.
Not
affect
for me,
mine.
but that's a personal favorite though.
If Jay-Z
Jay's
dropped-
already cemented in my personal favorite.
If
rappers.
Jay-Z
I don't
dropped
know, man.
5 bad albums in a row, I'm definitely looking at Jay-Z like what you playing at.
Yeah, but Jay's still giving us more great albums than he has. Even if the next 5 are bad, he's still giving us more great albums than he has bad. With Eminem, you may not be able to say that. Because if only 3 or 4 Eminem albums have been great, he's released like how many albums? So he's been bad longer than he's been good.
Those 3 albums were so vital to my life.
But that's why we're having
the time.
That literally shows you how good he is, though.
Yeah.
But I also think people are still going to call Jay-Z the greatest, even if he does have like 5 or 6 bad albums.
I personally
but that greatest title is going to come from things outside of the music.
I don't think so.
Nah,
Bro, you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't even rate Jay as a lyricist like that.
What? I get that.
A rapper's head.
Bro. A lot of them don't.
A hip-hop head.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Because even when I was out in New York, like I had a couple like discussions with some people at barbershops and that. A lot of people don't rate Jay lyrically like that.
How?
I think because they see the commercial songs and all that. They just, I guess.
Yeah, we could probably say the same thing about Eminem then.
Yeah, because then they're judging him for something else, and they're not actually then looking at the lyrics as separately as their own thing to see, is he all right? He's got a couple of commercial tunes, but does that mean he's still not nice with it?
Yeah, I mean that's a valid question, but there's some people, I guess the commercial songs take away from the artistry and I guess what the artist can do lyrically. Maybe that's also the case in M's case sometimes. Like when he's got songs like, I don't even know where to go. Where else?
Nah, this looks like a job for me.
Yeah, even that tune, mad corny, but I still would.
I like that song, man.
I still wouldn't be dumb enough to say that he can't rap.
That's not a corny song.
I like that song.
Lyrically, that song is unbelievable. Lyrically,
yeah.
That song lyrically, without me, lyrically and flow wise, everything is unbelievable.
I like that song. Honestly, I genuinely like that song.
Yeah. That was corny to me.
Nah.
Without me, it's corny.
That's corny.
Nah.
Wow.
I think M's quite corny though. I think a lot of his
I've got a question.
hits or the popular songs are corny, but I guess they're going to be. If they're gonna like appeal to like the masses.
Now Eminem has.
I guess you need a bit of corn.
But you accept that he's barring in those songs.
What songs? The Real Slim Shady he's barring.
Without Me, Real Slim Shady.
How does Without Me go again?
Superman.
Superman he barred.
Superman is hard.
Superman he barred. Straight from the hit, cut to the chase,
out to the mouth,
slap to her face, playing no games,
say no names.
He's still barring, man. Despite it being corny, he's still barring. But again, we're talking about a different time. Now I think he's still barring, but the corniness might overweigh.
Nah, see, Kamikaze, the corniness has gone.
I genuinely need to listen to Kamikaze.
But that was a reaction to a corny album, right?
Yes. So Kamikaze, the corniness has gone now. It's back to just rapping. But being a lyricist, rapping flow. And it's almost like how much can I play with my flow now on this album? You know what I mean? It's like how many syllables can I fit into one bar and still make it sound nice? His approach to this Kamikaze album feels different to the way he's approached any other album.
But that's why he dropped Kamikaze. He dropped Kamikaze out of blue just because people were shitting on his previous album. I've got a question. Does Eminem have 3 classics or 2?
3.
I think he's got 3.
Yeah, but
what do you think?
It's a tough conversation because even the word classic, like,
what is a classic?
It's funny to me, man.
I generally feel like I think Marshall Mathers LP's
100%.
He's got 2 flawless albums to me.
So that's classics.
Not necessarily. Flawless don't equal classic.
When you win Walk About Flawless Victory,
Bro, flawless
that means you've won the best you could win.
For me, flawless don't equal classic. Classic is more about the time. Classic is more like how it affects like the actual culture and how it shifts things. And
you said something's a cold
and time, like what it does time wise. Just because those flawless albums doesn't mean they're classics. Ready to Die for me, Biggie is flawless, but it aged very badly, which takes away from the classic aspect of it.
Marshall Mathers LP is definitely a classic.
I think they're all classics.
I think all 3 are classics, personally.
Yeah, but Marshall Mathers LP is without a doubt a classic.
Oh, that's
for me. That's not even a debate.
I don't think
that's his best album.
That was a moment in time.
Yeah,
that definitely shifted the culture.
Yeah.
In what way?
Stan, we now associate
super
fans with Stan.
He got a whole word in the dictionary.
The Way I Am.
That was brilliant.
He bodied that song, bruv.
That just shut up every single critic or anyone who had anything to say about him at the time.
Because even like the 3rd verse, he was speaking about, I think, the media and how they think he's black. And then 1 verse, he's talking about fans. Like, leave me alone. I'm not your everyday white boy that you see like NSYNC and stuff like that. He bodied The Way I Am.
That was a great album, man. Amityville, Remember Me.
Yeah. See that, and do you know what? It's funny that you say those 2 tunes as well, because a lot of people that I speak to about that album say that those 2 tunes are their least favorite tunes and are the 2 skippable tunes on that album. But Amityville, his second verse on that is probably one of the best verses he does on the album for me. Love that.
Yeah, no, that was dope, man.
Nah, he got busy, man. I think he's got 3 classics.
And Eminem show were like cleaning up my closet, sing for the moment,
White America.
White America, Business, Superman,
Soldier.
Soldier,
Saying Goodbye to Hollywood.
Haley's song.
I love that song.
Yeah, Saying Goodbye to Hollywood.
Toy Soldier
yeah.
on that one.
Till I Collapse
Toy
as
Soldier,
well.
wasn't it?
Square Dance. That
Encore.
album's full of
What's that?
amazing tunes.
That was on
Encore.
Encore, innit?
Which one?
Toy Soldier, that was on Encore with the whole roses petals.
Yeah.
But even Encore had bangers.
Yeah,
man.
Encore did have
Like
bangers, but
Evil Deeds, had Toy Soldiers. I was like that.
Now I got a question. I got a question. We know where Eminem's for you. You're number 1. Where does Eminem rank for everyone else here?
I'd probably put him in my top 20.
Top 20.
Probably in my top 20. For
Melo
me personally,
sounds appalled.
for me personally, I
that's
just
bad?
love so many more rappers than
You think
Eminem.
that's bad? Hey, Peter, where'd you put him?
I've got him in my like.
Okay, so he's something wild.
Nah, probably got him in like my top 25. That's like a non-biased. This is not my personal favorite. It's just an objective
Yeah,
list of great rappers.
yeah.
M's probably in my top 25.
Okay.
We're talking just objectively as far as rapping ability.
Yeah.
Oh, he's top 10 for me.
I was
No, not just rapping ability, everything.
He's top 10 for me.
Okay, we're just talking just
What are
overall.
we talking about?
But we're talking about overall.
I thought lyrically.
Oh, lyrically, then yeah, you could argue he's top 10.
I'll say he's top 10.
You can argue.
Overall, he's still top 10 for me.
You could argue that.
For me, he's still Eminem. For me, he's top 10.
Objectively, overall,
He's top 10.
I think he's still top 20 for me.
Nah, he's
20,
top
20 to 25.
He's top 10 for me. Easy. Top 10.
But I can list a lot of rappers that I feel like rap better.
But do they make better songs than him?
Just rap better.
But we're talking about totality.
Totality, yeah, I'll throw him in there, 25.
You can name 25 people that made better songs and can rap better.
100%. They may not sell as much as him.
All right, mate.
They may not sell as much as him, but I feel like they make better music.
Yeah, I think it's a valid argument.
I got Eminem. I think Eminem very easily top 10. Very easily.
For me, he is. Yeah.
Is he my
But-
favorite top 10? That's a different argument. But if I'm taking my favorite away from me, just purely looking at it from the eyes of hip hop, yeah, man, it's hard to outdo 3 classics.
I've just never felt
Whoever
like he
you
makes
name-
amazing music.
Whoever you name hasn't got, in my opinion, 3 classics. For you to have 3 classics in hip hop is how many people can have done that?
There's probably about 10, maybe.
I've got 3
There's not that
classics.
many.
Yeah.
There's not that many.
There's about
I don't
10.
think there's 10.
And,
I think I can list
but
10 rappers that have got
deep it
3
as well though.
classics.
It's not just 3 classics. It's your first 3
Yeah,
albums
like
as well.
in a row.
Okay,
Besides-
I don't
in
know
a
how
row.
many people
The
have
only
done
person
that.
that, there's only one rapper I know that's done that. Because I don't count Kanye West.
What, 3 in a row?
Yeah, I think, because
Kendrick?
I don't count Kanye. I was going to say Kendrick. Who else has done it besides Kendrick?
Tribe,
Tribe definitely did it.
Outcast,
Outkast definitely did it.
De La Soul,
Solo rapper.
De La Soul definitely did
Solo
it.
rapper.
Solo rapper, guys.
So I can't say Mobb Deep.
Nah, solo rapper.
Nah, I wouldn't
Kendrick
say- I
is
wouldn't say
the
Mobb
only
Deep.
one that's done it.
I can't think of any.
That's my point. And Kendrick's in my top 5. That's, you see what I'm saying? When you drop 3
It's
in a row-
hard, yeah. It's hard for a solo artist, dude.
That's what,
100%.
yo, if we're talking solo, by the way, when I say where is he in your top, I mean solo rappers, by the way. You can't include like Outkast, Tribe, all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Fine,
of course.
yeah, then that changes it.
Yeah. Then I think he's top 10 not quite easily, but I think he's top 10. I think
do
it's fair to say top 10.
Yeah.
Taking albums into account, lyricism into account, him as a person, music.
But I'm not agreeing that M's got 3 classics, though.
I'm just saying to me personally.
Oh, okay.
To you, he's got 2 flawless and that. Great.
I'm not agreeing with that third one being great.
Yeah, he's
What do you think Eminem
he's
show
not a
is?
massive fan of Eminem
It's good.
show.
All right, fair enough. I love the Eminem show. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
same.
I love the Eminem show.
I do wish he did better by the Slaughterhouses and the Griseldas as well. I feel like that could have helped his legacy as
That's
well.
behind the scene. Do you think people care about
I don't
that?
think that makes a difference.
I don't think people care
I know,
about
but personally speaking, I feel like he should have, because he made such an intention to showcase like the barras and didn't really do anything with
that. He
them.
didn't do nothing. He made
Like he's always been about, seemingly he's always been about himself more so than the people he signed. And I think if you gave them a spotlight a lot more, it would have helped with the legacy a bit, because you would have influenced and, you know, fostered a generation of like barras just like you. But maybe that's just a personal preference.
And also, there's a reason why he's not that high on my list. He signed Yellow Wolf.
Yellow Wolf is hard, man.
Yellow Wolf's sick,
I
bro.
hate
Yellow Wolf can bar.
Bro, I hate Yellow
You
Wolf.
are missing out.
Yemi's
bruv.
been co-signing Yellow Wolf for years.
Yellow Wolf is hard.
Yellow
man.
Wolf's sick.
Yo, what do you say about
Yellow
him?
Wolf is
Keep
sick.
Yellow Wolf.
He had arguably the best verse on One Train.
Do you feel like his lack of collaborations kind of is a strike against his
I
legacy?
like that.
Nah.
I like
M.
that.
Yeah.
I prefer
His
that.
lack of, wait, let me rephrase that. Lack of collaborations with respected lyricists.
Yeah, but the only people he's only really collabed with Like the few people he's collabed with, what, Jay-Z,
Jay, Royce,
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, respect to lyricists though. Jay, Royce.
It's been more pop stars, isn't it?
Slaughterhouse.
Has he got a
I think
song
he's
with
got a track.
Slaughterhouse?
He's got a track on one of their albums.
Conway. More recently.
I like that though. Like,
Why?
I don't know. Like, you remember when J. Cole used to
Nicki.
feature with people's songs? I used to love that about J. Cole. Like,
And I think it's more
You don't
powerful
deserve
if you can hold an album, that many albums up without having to bring in all these other, big name lyricists and still, still cement yourself in there without having other people carry you on the back.
Yeah.
I think that says even more about you.
But then I don't feel like
it's easy.
But I don't feel like if M was to do that, they'll feel like they're trying to carry him. I'm
No, he's
also-
saying it's easy for a rapper to get people on their album to carry the album.
Yeah, but I don't think M's ever been that type of artist, so I wouldn't apply that to him. I'm also saying from a competitive standpoint, like there are, I think, a few more greats that have lined themselves up with people that have like sick pen games as well, just to test their pens and see how good they are as well.
He genuinely
like
might just be an
Royce has
introvert.
rapped with Black Thought, Jay's rapped with Nas, Jay's rapped with M's rapped with Jay Fine, but I can't think of a bigger name or as big of a name as and respected lyrically like a Jay-Z that M's rapped with,
I
apart
don't think
from
that
Royce.
matters.
And I think I think about stuff like that. Like I want to hear my favorites kind of be on tracks with other respected lyricists. Kendrick and Pusha rapping together was great for me.
That's a personal preference, I think, than anything else. I don't think the amount of people that you spar with lyrically in any way enhances how we see you.
No, but what I'm saying is that like I think there's a bit of a, for me, I'm putting a bit of a strike because he's not really. I feel like he's a bit of a shookhead. I'm not gonna lie. I think M's
he's
shook.
Nah.
No,
I just
because
think
like
Eminem's
I
an
fe-
introvert, bro.
No, what?
Eminem.
Eminem.
No, I'm just saying in terms of
Eminem's an
no,
introvert.
you know what I'm saying? I'm saying in terms of does Eminem even do interviews like that?
No,
Now.
no.
Eminem,
no.
you just don't see him.
Yeah, but bro, you're
He
you
just
don't-
makes his own
He
music.
done Jonathan Ross back in the day.
Back in the day, I
yeah,
remember.
don't apply
But,
what
like, my
he's been
point is-
doing the last like 3-4 years to like a 20-year career, bro.
But also, I think it works the other way around as well, because when you hear a lot of there's a lot of rappers where you've seen people being asked questions. Like the only one interview that comes to mind is Game, but it's happened with
I know what you're
others.
about to say.
When they say like, who would you want to go against, or this and that, and the one name they always say is Eminem.
Do you think they're scared of him?
I don't think they're scared of him, no, but I don't think it's a case of Eminem being like, oh, I don't want to jump on a track with him because I'm not. Maybe he'll be better than me. I think a lot of other rappers see him in that way.
That's interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
I think maybe it probably works both ways.
Mm.
Probably works both ways.
And I mean, realistically speaking, like Eminem doesn't need that aspect. Really, he's already established. Like we know he can bar, even though it would sound good for him to be with these rappers on songs. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. I don't
You
think.
think Marshall Mathers LP? The only collabs on it was what, Dre, Snoop, D12, Exhibit, Nate Dogg, and it sold
I
what?
think Onyx on it as well.
Sorry.
I think Sticky Fingers was on it
Yes.
as well.
Yeah. And it sold what, 155 something million.
Jeez.
So it says a lot. If you can carry them sort of sales on your own without having to put big names like Jay-Z or Nas or anything else like that on there, says a lot.
So what do you want from Eminem in 2019, if anything, Peter?
Oh, you're asking me?
I'm asking you.
Retirement.
Big facts. Big facts.
P45.
Big facts.
Do you know
Having a
what?
resignation.
I think I would love to hear him over a bit more interesting production. I think getting with like, Just Blaze, for example, or like an Alchemist, maybe more Alchemist production.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I just want to maybe hear him across different types of production. I think he's got the J. Cole syndrome where like he wants to produce everything himself, innit? I think where he was spoiled with having Dre at the beginning, and then obviously he learned how to do it himself. He became very self-sufficient. So maybe just more interesting production. But I'm gonna be real, man. I'm not checking for M music like that.
I'll be honest with you.
I would say though, have a listen to Kamikaze album,
Alright,
and then next time we link up,
just because you asked me to.
I
We'll have a
genuinely wanted to
discussion
listen to
about
that
it,
album. I genuinely wanted you to listen to that.
but listen to it with an open mind. Yeah.
I still need to listen to
You asked
that
for
too.
too much. You asked for too much. You asked for
Facts,
too much.
man.
But I think we all should hear Kamikaze just come back with feedback. Because I need to still listen to Kamikaze as well.
Yeah, same.
It's definitely not a classic, but it's a lot different from
What
the
he's
bad
been dropping.
albums that we was
But
talking
you know what?
about.
I don't even search for the classics. I'm just happy with really good albums. Like I feel like we play so much like onus on classic, but just good music. I think time dictates whether it becomes a classic. I feel like people are so quick to say instant classic this, but I don't know if not. I feel like you need time. So even if it's not a classic, that's
Yeah.
fine. If it's
'Cause
good,
it's
if
one
it's a
of the
good album,
songs.
then
It's one of the songs on that album that sparked the whole MGK thing.
MGK bodied him, by the way.
What you think?
I
You
disagree
think
with
his
that.
one was better than Killshot?
a lot of people said that though.
No.
I disagree
Yeah,
with that.
I think it was a better song. Obviously, Eminem is a better lyricist.
Eminem.
But it's like
No,
it's
you're right.
It's
MGK
like
had
the
a better
Duppy, but it's like the Duppy Adidon debate for me. I think Duppy was a better song. I think Adidon was a better diss.
It's like Takeover Ether.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially, and that's how I feel about MGK and Eminem. I think Rap Devil was a better song, but Killshot was a better diss.
Yeah, but what are you looking for in a when you're listening to battle tracks? You're listening for you want the diss to be better,
I
really.
want disrespect.
Yeah, of
The
course.
highest level.
And I think
Adidon
Killshot ripped. He tore MGK's song apart, bar for bar. Like he named the bars that he done, tore them apart, and then hit him back.
Yeah,
with
he did. Nah, but
You can still
counteractors,
look back at
yeah.
it and think which one was the better song.
Mm.
'Cause,
Yeah, true. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's how I.
yeah.
Killshot, Eminem bodied MGK just for whatever, for my opinion, and for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, like Takeover was a better song. Ether was a better diss.
Yeah.
I will always say that.
But yeah, man.
Well-
Shout out to Eminem though, man. We've all kind of
Yeah, big up M, man. Like he gave us 50, and we got that whole lineage. So
He
yeah,
actually
man.
did give us 50 in it.
Yeah, man.
He gave us classics as well. Yes, he did. You've already established that Marshall Mathers is a classic, no?
I didn't say that. I said flawless.
And he gave
It's
us
a classic, man.
he gave us all we tries.
He did give us overdrives. Real name, no gimmicks. Hey. All right, let's move on to the final topic for today. And it's actually a great topic that Peter thought of. The idea of whether artists should bow out of making music gracefully or whether they should kind of just like fade away. So I was watching a video on hip hop, Dead and Hip Hop, and they kind of had the same argument where it was like, should rappers burn out or fade away? Burn out meaning dropping music until no one cares anymore, or fading away, which means bowing out gracefully on your own terms. So obviously, especially as artists get older and their relevance either like increases or decreases, there's the idea of maybe being on a clock and their time being up and them either heeding to that or not really accepting it and carrying on. So I guess the question is like, do we think artists should bow out gracefully or continue until they can't do it no more?
Is that if I got first, yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like there's some rappers that bow out gracefully. Lauryn Hill did.
She hasn't
Lauryn Hill did not bow out gracefully.
Lauryn Hill bowed out gracefully.
She's not done.
She's not done, first of all.
She still makes music.
She tries to.
Does she?
Yeah.
Ish.
Lauryn Hill.
Look, there's
She was just
music
on the
out there.
recent
There's
Pusha T
music
song.
out there.
No, I'm saying her own music. I thought she just shows
That
up late to
wasn't a bow.
shows.
I don't think that was a graceful bow out.
I thought she
Turns
just
up
shows
late.
up late to shows, fam.
Yeah, true.
That's all I thought she does now. And
does,
sings X Factor at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, because she can't actually perform it properly.
I hate the way she performs live, by the way. When she does do up at like 56 miles per hour, when it's meant to be slowed down a little bit. And then she's there, bare feet, and start jumping up and down, fam.
Yeah, it's the experimentation.
Have you seen her live?
Yeah, fam, with a little. No, of course not, fam. Because I would have left the show at 1 o'clock in the morning, bro. Because she doesn't have a fucking clock. What kind of stupidness? How do you not show up to. No, you're not going to edit this out, yeah? Because it's a little bit. Because I need to talk about this, yeah? I remember one day, my sister went to go see Lauryn Hill, yeah? I don't know where it was, I forgot, yeah? This is a true story. Lauryn Hill was meant to show up at 6 o'clock. Wallahi, my sister told me she showed up on stage at 9:30. Are you taking a piss, bro? You've got 10 songs and you're gone. Let's not act like your catalogue is Jay-Z. Like you're going to be there for an hour
That's
and a
even
half.
worse if the
That's what I'm
catalog was
saying.
that long.
But she's
Like-
going to experiment with new stuff
Bruv, no.
and the unplugged
Her
stuff. Don't forget the
experiment-
unplugged album.
No, that doesn't count. Do you know what annoys me? And then when she does do up, I like so. Bro, do you know how slow do up really is?
I do.
Yeah, you know you better. And it's watch out, some guys there. Like, chill out a little bit, man.
She can't.
Oh, fuck Lauryn Hill. Anyway,
Wow.
Wow. What a
no,
ride then.
sorry, I'll take that back because she's one of my favorite.
But you still think she bowed out
I feel
gracefully?
like she bowed out. I don't count Unplugged.
I don't think it was a bow out though because her life took over. So I don't think it was a bow out. I think
a-
if she continued to make, if her life was like normal, she hadn't married a Marley.
That's not
then
her.
I think-
That's. I'm not. We're just talking the kind of just stop making music.
Okay, so I've got a question then. If you're gonna bow out gracefully, how do you know as an artist when that time is?
You know.
Do but okay, so you put out, say you had your whole career putting out this great music, and then you put out one bad album. Do you bow out or do you give it another go?
50 Cent tried to give it a go a few times. And then
You know what I
he just
mean? When is the
realised-
point when you say bow out?
I feel like 50 Cent tried to drop a couple albums and now then realized it's not.
Well,
for me
Jay-Z
anymore.
said he was going to retire, and obviously he didn't. So maybe then, at that point, he thought, let me go out on a high, sort of thing. So it's definitely a personal decision
Yeah.
that when you reach that certain point, you'll realize that, okay, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. I want to pursue other things. So it's very much a personal thing.
Yeah.
We as fans are not going to know. We're just going to take what you say. So someone like Nicki Minaj, who recently said she's going to retire, I don't believe that.
Nah, that's bullshit.
Exactly. That's bullshit. Maybe a marketing thing. But with Jay-Z, like, because he said it so much, it was kind of believable. And if the Black Album had that feel of like it being the last one, and then obviously it wasn't around. So it's definitely down to the rapper.
Can you name anyone that's bowed out gracefully? I feel like Lauryn Hill's one, but if you guys don't agree.
I don't think Lauren's bowed out.
Who do you think has bowed out gracefully?
Well, maybe Dre, but Dre literally done that album and then kept us waiting.
Oh yeah,
for
he
Detox
actually,
for years.
yeah, you're right there though. He kind
I think maybe some of the like really older rappers.
Oh, hang on, no, because
like,
Dre did do another album. Sorry, yeah, I mean, he did do
Compton
another
one.
album, innit?
The Compton one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't count that.
Why though?
Because it was more like a soundtrack to the movie.
yes.
kind
It was
of.
a Dre album, though, isn't it? Yeah, I mean,
You think Andre 3000 bowed out?
No, he's not done.
I'm saying solo. I'm talking about them rapping on their own tracks.
He's not done.
I mean, he's only featured on songs nowadays, but
I don't know he's not done.
Yeah.
Because I know. He's
do
not
know.
done. He's still like rapping. He's not putting
So when
out-
we're talking about bowing out, you guys don't mean their own personal songs. You just mean stop rapping, period. No one's ever going to do that.
Why?
Who has?
yeah.
Jeezy's just put out an album, his supposed last album.
He'll be back.
You reckon?
Yeah, he'll be. No, it's like boxing. Boxers don't know when to stop until it's a bit mad.
I think it's.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Like
you
a
feel like
boxer's-
so you feel like with rappers they
they
ever
don't
bow
know
out
when to.
gracefully?
They only know. I feel like a rapper only knows when to bow out when their music don't resonate anymore.
Or I mean, old age as well, because like the older generation, like the Curtis Blows and stuff, they're probably not they're not rapping anymore
Yeah,
because
sick and tired of
maybe
that
age
stupid-
just took over, innit? And obviously, rap is a young man's game, so maybe that's when they decided I'm gonna bow out. You know what I mean? So maybe the bow out thing is more relevant to people of a certain age rather than people in their prime, like a Jeezy or a Jay-Z as he was back then.
So you feel like there's an age limit on it?
Nah.
No, not necessarily, but I think when you get to a certain age, you might think, okay, I'm done now.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think the industry would probably kind of hint to you that you need to bow out as well because you know what I mean. If you're starting to come to the end of your reign, all of a sudden you're going to start getting less airtime,
No,
less
you're right.
this, less that.
Because Jay-Z's how old?
Nearly,
48?
He's gonna be 50 this year.
50? Can you see Jay-Z rapping with 60? I can't.
At this rate,
I was going to
no,
say,
generally I can't
Jay-Z,
see.
anything's possible.
I can't see a Jay rapping at 60, 65.
Yeah, personally, I think he should stop making albums now.
I generally feel like if Jay-Z stopped at 444, I'm content.
I would have been happy with him stopping at the Black Album.
No, but I feel like 444 is a great album to end it on.
Yeah.
You gave us, you spoke to us, you educated everyone. Stop now, you're done. We're good. You can still tour, but like, I feel like it's a great album to just stop on.
Someone like
A
Jizza as
perfect
well.
album.
Jizza, I don't necessarily think raps too much anymore. He was featured on Rhapsody's album, did a dope remake of Liquid Swords,
Yeah,
but I don't
yeah,
really see him rapping like that anymore. He's got other commitments. He's like a lecturer now. He's like a big science head and stuff like that. So I think he might be an example of someone who he's like maybe like 3 years older than Jay. So he's like in his 50s. So rap isn't at the forefront of his mind right now. I feel like when you reach a certain age or a certain like status in the game, especially when you're accessing things outside of the game, those priorities kind of tend to take over a little bit more. So rap slowly fades away rather than like, I'm just going to keep releasing albums every year, and they're not resonating, so I'll just stop. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of get it.
I think albums will always resonate, even if it's not going to be on a major, like if it's not going to be at a point where you're selling out like their albums. That doesn't mean that your core audience ain't going to stop consuming your albums. So maybe there isn't even a point where you bow out. Maybe you just keep going until
It's completely
life happens.
Yeah,
No,
or until it's no longer fun for you to actually do anymore.
No, I
If
feel
you're
like-
a rapper or a musician, it's something that you enjoy doing, isn't it? So other people's, and I think if you're doing that type of thing anyway, you must be the type of person who other people's opinions can't affect what you want to do. Because that you would have spent your whole career with counteracting opinions on what you do. So it has to really be when you feel like you're not gaining anything from it personally anymore.
Yeah, because some of
Yeah.
cause some of the pioneers are still like people like KRS-One, Chuck D. They're still releasing albums even to this
Yeah.
day. So they obviously feel like they still have stuff to say. And they
Exactly.
still want to make the music. So maybe bowing out gracefully is kind of impossible for rappers because by their very nature, they want to keep creating. You know what I mean? And even someone like Snoop Dogg released a new album recently, and like it's cool. It's actually kind of good. So like, there's always going to be a pocket for someone like him to like because he suits and caters to so many audiences, there's always going to be that sort of resonance.
Yeah.
So
I think people like him and Jay-Z, the older rappers, I think as long as they keep making albums, they're gonna make it easier for the ones that are not as old to make albums as well. Because it's just gonna keep pushing that barrier of the age in which hip hop artists are allowed to keep making music while at. So it's gonna keep pushing it. And then I think more fans are gonna maybe even start digging into these older acts as well. And it's gonna become like, maybe another subgenre where similar to like, flipping all different types of genres where like you have the older type of whatever that genre of music is and then the younger or whatever. So
I think it depends as well on how, especially with rap, it depends how believable it is as well. Because like, you've got someone like Jay-Z at his age, if he's coming out talking about still, popping his bottles of Cristal in the club and whatnot, and you're kind of bored because you've heard it all before. But if he's still got new stuff to talk about and stuff that feels relevant, then why not? I don't think anyone should sort of be told, you need to stop because you're this age. If you've still got the ability to make good music and there's
definitely.
people out there that still want to listen to it and you're comfortable doing it and enjoying doing it, then good luck.
No, I agree.
yeah, because even like Ghostface, he's still releasing albums.
Yeah.
He's still talking crud. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily what I want to hear from him all the time, but I still, because I'm a big fan of his, I still listen.
I can't do that,
No?
I feel like once you get to a certain age, if you're not part, like maybe that's one of the reasons why I checked out Eminem. You're still rapping about the same thing he was rapping about
Right.
for the last 10 years. That's why Jay-Z is my favorite rapper of all time. I can
Because
see
he
the
reflects
growth.
the times, isn't it?
Yeah, like I can't listen to, I can't listen to a rapper now talking about, Pusha T's the only exception, by the way. I'll give you that. And Rick Ross. There's some exception, but I'm talking about my favorite rappers that I don't want to hear you talking about the same things you're talking about for the last 12, 13 years.
So maybe to you, they bow out when they've got nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, I guess to a certain extent. Maybe. Because that's why I checked out for 50 Cent.
But if the thing is like, who is the say so on whether they've got nothing to talk about? Because obviously
The fans. I think the fans.
Yeah,
I think
but-
when
personal
when
thing.
the
But if it's a
topic
personal-
becomes
that's what I mean. Because if they're still making music, then to them in their head, they've obviously still got something to talk about.
But then if
yeah.
no one's checking from, then I think they'll get the memo that. All right,
Yeah.
No,
maybe-
not really. Because,
Yeah.
like, not respect to. There's some rappers
That's why
that,
50 stopped.
No, 50 stopped because he was on that. There's some rappers that maybe only sell 2,000, but to them, that's 2,000 they're going to keep. Do you see what I'm saying? To them, they will keep. Rappers rap. 50, I think, stopped rapping because of ego. Like, he knew you don't go from being that high
Yeah.
to that low. I generally feel like 50 stopped rapping because of the ego thing. Do you know what I'm saying? And then he had the beef with Rick Ross, and now Rick Ross is doing better than him. He might just be like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not involved anymore.
Yeah,
Rick
50
Ross is only doing better than him in rap.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Yeah, not in life. I don't know what they're doing in life.
50 Cent doesn't even, I don't even look at 50 Cent as a rapper
No
anymore.
one does anymore, I think.
Yeah.
I think generally people
He's just
see
a celebrity now.
yeah, like it's 50 Cent. It's like Snoop Dogg. I feel like Snoop Dogg's just Snoop Dogg now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm happy for rappers to keep rapping until I guess they've got nothing else to talk about. And I personally, as a fan, will determine that. If I feel as though you're gonna keep talking about the same thing, then I will personally know when to check out.
That's the key thing.
I think
like,
it's you as a fan making that decision to check out.
Yeah.
and it depends on how good you do it. Because like Pusha T still's been talking about the same thing for. And Pusha T.
I still feel like Pusha's still got a lot to offer though, because
Oh, yeah, 100%.
he's only like how many solo albums deep? Yeah, he had the albums when he was
I
part of
think
the Clips, but he's still got.
2 albums deep.
Yeah, I still feel like there's still a part of even that content of music, that drug thing. He's still got. There's still another perspective that he hasn't given yet that I feel like he
Okay,
will
then
give.
what about Rick Ross then?
I think Ross is getting there. I think Ross is at that point now. He's getting a tiny bit more personal, even with dropping out the book. So I still feel like he's got a bit more as well to give. You know what I'm saying? He's,
So I guess time will tell, innit?
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I think it's up to the fans to determine it within themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's for the fans to determine when they stop listening, maybe not to determine when the rapper stops rapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never could tell a rapper to
Yeah.
start rapping.
But
We
that
have
in turn might
can't tell someone to
affect,
quit
but
their
that in
day job.
turn might affect the rapper and might make them think that their time is up.
Um,
Could have an adverse
Or
effect.
Maybe.
yeah, or it could make them try and switch it up and come different. You know what I mean?
Jay-Z with Kingdom Come, everyone was like, yo, should have never come back.
Yeah.
And then he switched it up and dropped, what did he drop after that? I think American Gangster.
He should have kept Kingdom Come in the Kingdom.
For real.
So yeah,
Kingdom should not have come.
There's a couple of good jams on there though.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked a
Oh,
couple songs on
the only
that.
song I liked on it was the one with what's her face.
Show me what you got.
Was that
Kingdom
trouble?
Come.
Was
Show me
that
what
trouble?
you-
Was
was
that
that-
trouble
was-
song?
I'll keep the show me what
when
you
they
got.
sing of rock cars, the police on me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
decent,
yeah.
yeah.
And what's the song we had that with what's her face?
Beyonce.
Fucking Chrisette Michelle.
Except Michelle.
Well, Lost Ones.
Yeah, that was
You
a
guys
banger.
didn't like Lost
Yeah.
Ones?
I said that was a banger.
Oh my lord.
I love that song.
I hate that song.
That was dope, man.
I don't like that
so
album. So basically, we are going to decide when rappers are done, essentially.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, I mean, that can either confirm to a rapper that their time is up, or it could encourage a rapper to switch things up and keep it fresh.
But then what about retire? Sorry to cut you off. What about retiring too early or bowing out too
I
early?
don't think it's...
Because there is such a thing. If Kendrick was to say
know.
one more and I'm done,
Then he's the greatest rapper of all time.
then it might be too early.
I got to take
he's-
them by their word, but more time, their word, they go back on.
if he means it though, and he's done,
Then he's bowed out gracefully. Because...
or too early though.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely too early, but it's graceful in the sense of he's given us so much work, so much amazing work, that it is kind of graceful when you think about it. Because that I feel like that plays a part too.
Maybe there's
It's kind of like the way Gerard retired. You know what I mean? Like Gerard, great career.
that wasn't graceful.
Not okay. Okay, maybe he's not a good example, but it's like a footballer has a great career, and before they get to that point where they're letting the team down
Henry
every week, and
Henry
this
at
and
Arsenal.
that, they retire.
No, honestly, it's Henry at Arsenal. Henry left Arsenal right, perfect timing. Like, let me just go now when I've done all I can. And all you remember him being a legend.
Yeah.
Whereas Arsene Wenger stayed. All I'm saying, Arsene Wenger stayed to the point where it turned sour. So sometimes you do need to just leave the game.
Then artists never do that. Then musicians never do that.
Yeah,
But I
'cause
genuinely
it's not
feel like-
because it's not a physical thing. Footballers is a
and it's
physical
because,
thing.
Yeah, but-
and it's because it's something they're passionate about, and you're never gonna, I suppose, as an artist, you're never gonna want to stop writing.
Because even in the case of Lauryn Hill, I feel like that was forced on her.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a choice. But if we look at artists, even outside of rap,
There's no one that's
they
bowed out
keep
gracefully.
going. They
No
probably
one-
stay too long.
No one's bowed out gracefully.
Rappers never run
Did
out of
Ludacris
bars.
bow out gracefully?
feel
He hasn't made he hasn't made an album
But I
for
feel
a
like
long
that's
time.
because people stopped checking for him.
So he was forced to.
Yeah, and then he became an actor. I'm
It
taking-
wasn't his choice, so it was't.
Yeah.
I don't think he did it gracefully.
I generally look at it like the way I see boxers. Look at the way Tyson, Ali, all these boxers stop boxing because of the. I feel like once you're addicted to something,
But again, it's physical.
you need something to wake you up. The only way musicians might wake up is just when they at such a high, and then it's not there anymore. It's just like
Some artists just love creating. Like Prince,
exactly.
he had like flipping 30 albums, bro.
I definitely believe that rappers can feel like maybe I can't catch up with these kids, these new ones anymore. Maybe step back. I think maybe that is a thing. But because music isn't a physical thing,
they just keep.
you could go on for ages. And rappers never really run out of bars, even if they do retire, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Good for them, man. If you've got people that want to listen to you, you got people that want to listen to you.
That's it.
Whether,
Yeah,
whether it's 100 people, 100,000 people. If people want to listen to you, people want to listen to you, man.
Because there are some rappers that I'm never going to stop listening to.
No matter how many times they drop.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep listening.
I agree. As Mos Def could continue rapping till he's 80. I'm going to continue listening to Mos Def.
The new stuff.
I still listen to it. They say I like it.
And that's the thing as well. Like you
Yeah,
still listen to
exactly.
someone, doesn't mean you
Something
like it.
Yeah, I still listen to it. You still give Yasin Bey the benefit of the doubt.
Tribe Called Quest bowed out gracefully. Obviously, they made an album, Five died and all that. Made the album after Five died. Five was all over it. That was their last album, and I believe them because obviously
But
Five isn't around anymore.
Is that bowing out gracefully or is that circumstance?
That's bowing out gracefully because I think they were gonna make a new album regardless of what happened.
Was it going to be their last one, though?
That's my point.
I think
If
so,
Five
yeah.
was alive, do you think they really would have stopped?
I think so, yeah, because they'd been stopped for musically. Their last album before the last one was like 20 years before.
No one will ever stop rapping, but like rapping. But if we're talking rapping on their own solo stuff, I generally feel like Andre 3000 bowed out gracefully. I don't think that's a stretch.
No, I don't think
He never
he's
really
done.
made his
He's
own
not-
music though.
True.
And he's not done. I don't think
Since
he's
we're not
done.
You
counting
think
the
he's gonna give us an album?
Huh?
You think he's gonna give us an album?
Yeah, I do.
I heard he's just singing on trains right now. But what do I know?
Yeah, no rappers bowed out gracefully. We're yet to see it. Maybe Tribe, but as
But
a
it's-
solo act, it hasn't happened.
All right, well, we reached the end of today's episode. So I want to give a thank you to Melo for coming through.
Breaking
big up,
man.
man.
It was
Love
fun.
my
Yeah,
brother, love my
100%,
brother.
100%, 100%. You're a friend to the show, so come true anytime.
What happened again?
100%, 100%. And yeah, we'll see you in a couple weeks' time. If you want to follow us on all the socials, it's at Rhymes Times Pod. Melo, would you want to plug your socials at all?
At Melo_Insta on Instagram. Catch all the other socials through there.
Feel you. All right. I haven't thought of anything.
No, you have to.
I
You have to.
can't.
You have to. You have to.
All right. I'm
You
trying
have
to
Take your time.
take my time.
Don't pressure, King.
Fine. All right.
Get one of these to take a picture.
Until next time, guys, just remember that all is fair in Love, and Wicked Skengman. It was a good one. I'll let you decide if that was a good one.
Whatever makes you happy, man.
So until next time, peace.